here to get live lessons from Sneak and Show Master, GP Top 8 competitor, soon to be Pro Tour competitor, and Twitter sensation Jerry Mee.
Nope, I've cut those things out. I'm secluding myself. No more social media for me.
I don't believe that's the truth.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long I can keep up that side of the the promises. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I actually have barely touched the decks in the GP.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because I think a lot. I mean, obviously, War and the new Modern Horizons set, on top of just normal legacy changes, are going to make. I'm really interested to see how this deck interacts. There's a lot of Delver with Dreadhorde and Arcanist floating around, which is traditionally going to be a problem, especially if you're trying to rely on these cantrips to find follow-ups or second and third attempts at the combo, with them having so much more access to redraws, and then the Miracles decks having Narset to cut you off of your dig to try and get back into things. So,
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how Dreadhorde is going to affect things because on one hand, it might be better because it's a slower threat. Like I'd rather a Dreadhorde than a Young Pyromancer just from a clock perspective. And if they're just using it to like flashback brainstorms and ponders and things like that, it's not as bad. But for like the Grixis builds that I've been seeing that are running Thoughtseize, like that is going to be terrible. Like that's probably a worst case scenario.
yeah, I mean the good thing about I actually think the blue-red version is more popular at the moment, and even Rogue's floating around a lot too. I think mana bases they've already been under attack with Back to Basics and Blood Moon and things like that, but now with the new 2-drop recurring Wasteland Planeswalker, I think that running 3 colors is going to be really, really dangerous. Mm-hmm. So I think the upside that you get with the discard and like things like Diabolic Edict may be offset if it's a sea of Wastelands and recurring Wastelands.
Yeah, and on the other hand, if it's blue-red, it could also just not matter because they can beat us easily, which is like Delver of Secrets and Lightning Bolts to the face.
Clocks, yeah. So it seems like everybody's on basics, and that was before the new Planeswalker came out. So
yeah, which kind of brings me to the sideboard. The card I'm the biggest like iffy on in the sideboard is Blood Moon because a lot of times it just does nothing, and even in matchups where you board it in hoping it'll do something, it still ends up doing nothing because they just know to fetch up their 1 or 2 basics against you. And then other times it can just be like the only thing preventing you from losing against decks like Hex Steps or stuff like that.
yeah, absolutely. Coming from the depth side, I can tell you that the last maybe month or so, maybe even longer, I've been seeing a lot less Blood Moons out of all kinds of decks. I think there's just so many basics running around out of so many decks that it's really hard. Like, it's obviously going to be great against Post and especially my version of Depths that doesn't run basics. There's a handful of decks that's going to be backbreaking against, but I think percentage-wise, the percentage of decks that this thing's really going to do work against has decreased.
Yeah, so I'm really thinking about cutting the Blood Moons and replacing it with something else. A third Arcane Artisan has been on my mind. That's been nice. And then also, I also just kind of really want access to Pyroblast, so I might just straight up replace the Blood Moons with Pyroblast. I actually noticed the list of the top 8, I think it was the SCG Play for Power. They were running Pyroblast main, which I thought was really interesting.
All right. Well, I'm just going to do that for you now, since we might as well get some testing. We'll split the difference. We'll throw 1 blast in there and the third artisan.
Excellent.
And
that works.
If we lose to lands or post,
Yeah, well,
you can point the
that's
finger.
right.
I changed your GP list, and it's completely my fault. But yeah, I think it's a good time to try some cards out because it's in such flux. There's so many decks. I played against like Bug Control, Splashing, Gristlebrand, and Animate Dead and Entomb the other day, playing against 4 and 5 color Planeswalker lists, like all kinds of crazy stuff. People are just they're really going all out trying things. So
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this with the Dead Format guys, Tom and Ian, and it's just like we look at the legacy meta right now. We're like, I have no idea how to judge this. It's just fucking, or like, sorry, is this a PG friendly stream? But it's just like madness out there.
All right, so that's an interesting question from Morphling.
Yeah.
Should we run Blast over Blast?
So I've actually seen a lot of Sneak and Show players when they run two, they'll run one of each to play around things like Meddling Mage. But I think Red Elemental Blast is the better one of.
All right, sold. Yeah, again, if we lose to a Phantasmal Image, so be it.
Yeah.
I believe I've seen one of those in the last 1,000 matches or so. So I think we're good. All right, any other? So we're gonna be. So the two Narsets are new over.
Oh yes,
over
that's
a
the thing I wanted
Preordain
to try out.
and a
Jace.
and a Jace, and then the two sideboard cards. Any last minute spice before we register? I don't know.
Oh, I mean, we could throw that Boar God in there if you really want the spice.
The five drop legend.
Yeah, the 5-drop Pig God.
People
that
I've had that come into play against me 4 times.
What?
Once? Oh, no, it's actually there's a mono red sneak attack. Dan
yeah,
Salver's in the chat. He's been running it too. Yeah, so twice I won just because Caracas bounced it. Once I killed through it, and one time it got me really good. But it seems like there's a lot of copies of Caracas floating around.
Really? I have not seen that much Caracas, but that's interesting.
There's a good amount of Maverick. Maverick's being a little bit more heavily played than it was. Still a decent amount of D&T, even though I'm not the biggest fan of its positioning at the moment, but it's popular. And then you just see it out of random decks. I keep running into the Slivers guy, and he has 2 of them in his main deck. That's harassing me. Maybe it's just my personal. I'm seeing every copy of Caracas that people have, but maybe that's wrong. But we shall see. So you're going to be doing the lion's share of the lifting with this. I have. Wow, I don't know. I do not want to register for the Legacy Challenge with Sneak and Show.
Yeah, I just got the updated UI. Were they doing like a staggered rollout or something?
I don't know. It's weird because certain rooms look like this, but then when you go to other spots, it's exactly how it was. So like if you go here, it's exactly how it is. It
just has like the different colors shading borders.
If you go to like your history and stuff like that, it's the exact same.
Oh yeah, it's even the old
Yeah, so like there's no difference, but like here and the collection, I guess.
This looks really good though. I mean, I'm glad that they did this.
It's kind of weird. I know some people have been having issues with registering with the wrong deck, which I nearly did the first time.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, I think with anything, people fear change, and it's going to be hard getting used to it. But I think it's a good sign that Wizards is still investing in Magic Online.
Yeah, I for all the stuff that they've done to paper, ruining competitive paper, they've added a much better. There's so many more competitive tournaments online. Like I love the quarterly playoffs and the finals and all that. So, and they had a couple of like MCQs as well. So we're on the play here, and we can shuffle away 2 of these dead lands theoretically, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically this the only redeeming factor of this hand is Brainstorm, that we can just shuffle those away.
We can sort of also protect it too. So if we're gonna play, so we can kind of rely on this going through. But but
this is a mediocre hand. If the London Mulligan was in effect, I would throw this back. But since the London Mulligan isn't in effect, I would probably keep this.
All right.
I wouldn't be happy about keeping it though.
So basically, just I don't think it really matters. Game 1, we don't have to play around surgical or anything like that.
Yep. Don't pull a me and play that mountain, misclick.
Are there any particular... I have a relatively minor amount of stops on compared to some players. Are there any stops that I should have on here for this deck that I don't for depths, like upkeep, draws, anything like that?
I bluff miracles no matter what all the time.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
In the sideboard games with Vendilion Click, if we bring that in, you'll want to add that stop, but we don't really need that now.
Okay.
Preordain off of a tropical island. That's interesting. Storm, probably?
I don't know. Our opponent has played... they've been on Moto for years. I've probably played them like a dozen times over the years, and they play a little bit of everything. Sometimes they play Delver, but I've played them on like Zombardment and a variety of different decks. So I don't really know what to make of this necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be like the Rug Planeswalker control with Renin 6 that's been floating around too.
Right. So I mean, we can keep Brainstorm up as protection, but it doesn't. They might have discard. It's hard to say.
Okay. Well, if it was me, not knowing how to run this deck at all, I would probably play another land to play around Daze, Fetch, and Preordain here. Would be okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
So basic island would be what I would do in the dark.
Yeah, basic island always. Well, we got Grizzlebrand.
Oh, we definitely don't need that.
Cool. 1/2 done. Now let's find that B.
So how long have you been on Flusterstorm main? I remember like Sneak and Show back in the day. Spell Pierce used to be the secondary.
A couple years at least. Yeah, it's always been a split. I probably got my foil Flusterstorms in 2016, I want to say.
Okay.
But yeah, Flusterstorm was always usually in the sideboard, and then I just really like the split 2/2 Flusterstorm Spell Pierce. I mean, that's really a personal choice. I don't think there's necessarily a right answer because it honestly comes down to what decks you're going to face in the day, and no one can really predict that. Like, you can have a hunch about what the meta is, but there's no way you're going to predict what decks you're going to play against.
True. I'm assuming we just don't care about this.
Yeah, no. I mean, I almost never will I counter my opponent's cantrips.
Yeah, like that is where I would have assumed we were, but
yeah.
Again, leaning heavily on your expertise. Yeah, Pat, this is Bug Depths. I'm splashing some new cards.
Yep, exactly. Only time I'll counter cantrips is if like my opponent has missed like 3 land drops in a row and it top decks a Brainstorm. Noble Hierarch. So I'm thinking Infect now is what I'm thinking.
This would be a really weird Infect hand to not have. It's possible.
Yeah, to be playing an Infector this late. Yeah.
So I believe it's time to pop the Brainstorm.
Dig with Brainstorm. Yeah. Don't play the land yet.
Yeah, we could have played around Double Daze, but that seems really bad. So
blah.
Yeah, so mountain and which other land goes back?
The Volcanic Islands.
Okay. We're just playing the Misty here.
Yep, play the Misty.
Do we want to dig again now?
Yeah, I would actually, since we have the Flusterstorm backup, I would dig again.
And save this if we need the basic mountain, I guess.
Yeah. That sucks.
Delta and double Omniscience, I guess.
No, because I would keep the Omniscience as to pitch to Force of Will. I would actually put back Emrakul and Delta, because that way you can still have a Omniscience to put back off, or Omniscience to pitch to Force of Will, and also if we draw the Show and Tell, we can put the Omniscience into play and then play the Grizzlebrand.
Which will be good enough, I guess.
Yeah. The thing is, you always want to put Emrakul's back over Grizzlebrand, because Grizzlebrand can find Emrakul's.
There's not really a particular reason to play in a Wasteland here and shuffle now to play around Stifle, is there?
No. Okay. We have enough lands. The biggest thing with the Stifle is just losing the shuffle effect.
Well, that's the thing. We have 2 dead draws if we somehow get stifled. I don't think our opponent will do that, but it's just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Tapping for green.
Oh, this is definitely,
definitely
not Infect.
All right.
This would be a really nice turn to naturally draw Show and Tell.
This would be a great turn to naturally draw show and tell.
That's how this deck works, right?
Yep, this is how you always have it. Fetch.
Just the mountain.
Man, you live dangerously. I fetch end step, not upkeep.
What would the reason behind that be? I mean, we can actually
because it gives you a second chance in case you misclick.
All right. I was wondering whether there was actually a strategic reason. I figured having the double blue up on the off chance we got stifled out of the game would be more worth it. There we go, as predicted.
Oh boy.
So it's just off the tomb here, or do we want to save the life? Well, no, I guess we save the life for a
no, you want to do it off the tomb because that way you keep Flusterstorm up in case they have double force or something like that. So I also, on that fetch, I would have grabbed a Volcanic because we don't really care about our lands past this turn anyways. And the mountain can actually give us trouble, like if for whatever reason we needed a second blue source here, like if we draw with Grizzlebrand and like draw into more Spell Pierces or Flusterstorms. Okay. Like it's not really going to happen, but it's just like a small percentage point.
Fair enough. That was interesting sequencing.
Curious. What is Curious Obsession?
Turns it into an Ophidian, but pumps it as well. Interesting. That was really interesting sequencing. Fetch and force. I mean, our play's kind of locked in, right?
Yeah. I would. Okay.
Is there a reason not to?
I would
force first.
I would force first in case they have a Flusterstorm too, and then we can fluster their fluster.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
Because considering I have no idea what they have in their deck.
It'd be really bad. Well, I guess we could fluster it, so it wouldn't be that bad. I was thinking
maybe Red Blast.
or something they had would come into play with a trigger, and then they could respond, but it wouldn't matter anyway because we would just fluster it.
Tireless Tracker. This is an interesting list. And that's game.
If you never get to draw cards, is this deck actually fun?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like if a tree falls in a forest type question.
Fair enough. So red, green, blue, good stuff.
I would say defense grids because we saw Force of Wills, and they probably have other counter magic. I like Grim Lavamancer because we saw a lot of like small stuff out of them.
Blast, I'm assuming too, right?
Yeah. I mean, we saw Snapcasters and we saw some counter spells. On the draw, I like Blast. I don't know if we want to keep it on the play if this goes to a game 3.
Okay. Anything else? Click.
No, we don't want Click. I don't think we want Artisans yet, just because we don't know what their hate cards are going to be.
Sure. Okay, so these 5 then.
Yeah, just those 5. And then as far as trimming, I would trim the preordains. Those are usually the first things that make the cut.
Okay.
I don't honestly know how to evaluate Narset yet, so I don't know if we cut that here. I would say just leave them in. Because I want to try them, and it's for selfish reasons.
Getting reps is a very valid reason.
Yeah, exactly. I would cut the Omnisciences because I don't think we're gonna need them to win.
Okay.
Like I keep Omniscience in against like white decks, but against whatever this is, I don't think they're gonna have anything that's gonna force us to win via Omniscience.
Okay.
And then we have to cut one. I guess just cut a Narset just to make room.
You're violating your rule.
I am violating my rule. I'm a complicated human being.
You seemed so on Blast. Would you rather test your card over Blast?
Yeah, I'd rather test my card over Blast.
So if we lose a counter war with Narset in hand, We know
I'm
why.
gonna feel real bad.
No, we'll just know why.
I don't really want to cut a pedal in this scenario because I don't know how fast he is. Yeah, this is what we call a sneep.
All right. I'd like to point out that we would have show and tell with counter backup if this Nars was a blast.
That's true.
just say, well, 50 50 50 50 50. We don't know which one this is.
True.
But I guess the Nars, well, this would either be with the original list, this would either be a Preordain or a Spell Pierce.
Preordain or a Jace.
So do we ram a Ponder here, or do we just land pass?
No, ram the Ponder, because if we have everything we need to win. So if he dazes our Ponder, it's effectively a counter spell we don't need to cast.
That is a good call.
Oh, even better.
So
I would keep sneak island, draw the islands. That way we keep sneak attacks on top in case he has discard and takes our show and tell. And we fetch next turn to fetch to shuffle away the extra sneak attack.
sounds like a plan. We're not really at risk of flooding either with the brainstorm.
Right. I mean, basically all we're looking for is counter protection. And if we want it, if he doesn't really present a clock, we can just, instead of going for counter protection, just
Narset.
We'll jam Narset, but also just go like show and tell, got an answer, okay. Sneak attack, got an answer, okay. Got an answer for the third sneak attack? No? Okay, third sneak attack lands and activate.
Nice. So yeah, 3 bombs versus, we'll see.
Right.
They certainly haven't shown us a quick clock of any kind yet. We saw Snapcaster and Tireless Tracker. So
yeah,
they seem like they'd more want to grind us out. Ooh.
Yeah, everyone's playing Arcanist.
That's really good here because we aren't doing anything about it.
Scalding Tarn. And I would brainstorm this turn because we're going to be jamming show and tell next turn most likely, and this way we can
do we want to shuffle the sneak first and get 3 looks, or do we want to just get 2 and then
no, because we might even just want to keep that sneak. Like if we draw an Ancient Tomb, we're probably going to want to keep that sneak anyways.
Okay.
More stuff.
So Volcanic for sure.
I would put back the Volcanic. And don't have any protection, but we have that Ponder to find stuff. I would say put back the second sneak. That's a tough choice though. I'm just afraid if we and fire off the Ponder. I'm just afraid if we put back the other lands, we could get stuck without having a 4th land to cast the sneak attack that we do have.
Yeah. So I'm assuming we're keeping for the Force.
Yep, keeping for the Force. Put the Emrakul bottom, Lotus Petal second, draw Force. That way we'll have Lotus Petal on our next turn. And if we want, we can even do the sneaky show and tell in a sneak attack.
Okay. So, Daze protection plus alternate line protection.
Yep. And Narset pitches the Force. Its greatest roll so far. Oh, okay. This is pretty cute. Exalted plus Dreadhorde. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. Luckily, it's well, besides the clock, it's really only doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, this could get, depending on what else is in this deck, that could get uglier. I don't know what else he's working with, but
like if we start seeing like Kolagon's commands.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty decent chance he's got 2 pieces of interaction, but at least we have follow-ups. We have a follow-up sneak attack.
Right. And then when you play your land drop, play the islands because we want that Emrakul that's on top. Because if the show and tell gets countered and we're going with the sneak attack, we'll want to follow up with Emrakul.
We want to annihilate them, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how busted it is in a deck like this, but this has been very good for my Delver opponents.
So island, Lotus Petal, show and tell.
So,
Spell Pierce.
Probably going to lose this battle, but go for it anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Okay, that works.
So...
Yeah, so what we can do is we can do the sneak attack, activated Grizzlebrand, draw. We know we have the Emrakul on top, and that means we're basically searching for Lotus Petal. There's 3 Lotus Petals left.
I mean,
yeah, I like that. I like the sneak attack play. Activated Grizzlebrand. Hope we hit the Lotus Petal, and even if not, we're set up to win next turn.
Okay.
That way, if they does put something into play with and comes into play. Ow.
It's curious obsession.
Ow.
That's not for each power, is it? No. All right, it's just
Yeah.
make your own Grizzlebrand.
Right. Don't make the wrong color mana. Don't want to do that.
That's why I clicked on the sneak attack first.
Yep.
Make sure that wasn't possible.
All right, let's see if we get lucky.
I'm adjusting, Pat. I'm adjusting. I don't know what. I never met a basic land in my life outside of limited before this deck. So.
Stifle.
Hydro. Wow, that's
wow.
That's kind of punishing.
That's lame. We got a fresh hand.
Yeah, but
we can't do anything about it
we're
unless you want to.
Yeah.
Die. No, we're gonna attack and gain 7 life.
Oh, we have that.
We're not dead on board.
No,
there we go. Everything we need to win next turn. That sucks that we would have had it too.
So I don't think there's a reason not to.
Play the pedal.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we have to discard the hand size.
Yeah.
Yep. Now just swing in with Grizzlebrand, and then we'll ideally just win next turn with sneak attack.
So I'm assuming there's
Oh, you're wondering if we should draw 7 more cards?
Yeah, so the thing I'm thinking is they're going to see a draw for the turn, they're going to see another for the Curious Obsession trigger, and then they're going to at least brainstorm off the Dreadhorde. So they're seeing at least 5 cards next turn to find a counter to sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
So drawing an extra hand would be nice. The downside is...
That puts us real dangers. Like, we don't know how big this turn...
Well, it's going to be at least 4, or 5, right. Or 4 rather. So it puts us in bolt range. Mm-hmm. So do we think they would have left bolts in against us?
Good question. I mean, do we even know if they have bolts in the first place? Probably. If with this style deck, I would assume so.
Yeah. So, I was thinking of the likelihood that this sees... Because they're 13 through, they haven't seen a force yet, and they're going to see 5 cards. So
if we draw 7 and we don't find anything else, that gives us 2 turns. If we don't draw 7, that gives us 3 turns. So we're essentially seeing 4 less cards, but giving us an extra turn of buffer.
Yeah, we could also draw counter magic. We could draw Force of Will for a bolt. So new hand.
Get lucky. Yeah, sure, do it.
All right. So
All right.
So now we get to discard a bunch of cards.
Yep.
So I believe some of these lands can go relatively easily.
Yeah.
Especially the...
Keep... Oh, okay. Bye.
We have another... There's another one hanging out over here.
Oh, there is? Okay, cool.
So, Mountain, extra copies
Yep.
of Emrakul.
Yep, ditch the extra Emrakuls. The Scalding Tarn can also go.
Extra show and tell, I don't know.
Yeah, extra, and yeah, the extra show and tell. Cool. That works.
Oh, I'm like, why are we paused here? There's multiple Emrakul triggers.
So I was thinking of keeping the Ancient Tomb.
Okay. I guess
because
that would put us to exactly one and can play through an extra free spell.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we'd be dead to bolt either way.
Yeah, I don't think they have days. This does not seem like a days deck.
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's going to matter, but if we lose to a days, I'll take the blame on that.
Well, it's more we can do if we had kept the Ancient Tomb, we could do like double show and tell, and we could have put back the sneak attack and just had a second show and tell.
Okay. If they make us fluster here, because they did just tap for red there and then untapped their land, so if they do bolt us here, actually we're dead to bolt anyway.
Right.
Now that I'm looking at it, because they get 2 uses out of it. This thing's free.
True that.
So if they do have bolt, it wouldn't have mattered. I believe you just got called a legacy celebrity. All right, well, we just found a way to lose this
maybe they won't know. Maybe they won't know. Try flusterstorming. Play to your alts. Right now, our out is our opponent forgets what his cards do.
Yeah, I think we should have won this game. We got pretty greedy with that sneak attack line.
Yeah.
Brainstorm. You know you want to see more cards. You have no hand. And an
miscount.
active fetch up.
Yeah. I know, right? Miscount.
Yeah. You get attacked with a 4/6 in Legacy all the time, right?
Yeah, totally. Happens daily. Yeah, so it doesn't look like they're running black. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't think they have any way of beating a Grizzlebrand that's in play.
So, do we care about these Grim Lavamancers at all?
Yeah, I think these Grim Lavamancers come out because they can't kill the Arcanist.
Do we just want to try and kill them faster?
I think so. Does Grafdigger's Cage shut off Arcanist, or does that not work that way I want it to work?
I
believe Cage shuts it off, right? Because you cast them for free, right? Let me look up Arcanist.
Yeah, you might want to look that up. It does. Somebody or Morphling saying it shuts it off.
Oh yeah, we'd bring in those Grafdigger's Cages.
You'd rather have that than just on the play trying to kill them faster?
I mean, without Dreadhorde Arcanist, they're winning with like Tireless Tracker.
Yeah, I guess, and Snapcaster type stuff.
Yeah, they're running Snapcasters and Arcanist.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting at what Julian's getting at. Like, I mean, is that really what we're worried about? One of the creatures that's not going to attack us before turn 3. Shouldn't we just
Yeah.
try and assemble and protect the
Alright.
kill?
Yeah, that's true. All right, you can bring the preordains back in.
It's interesting to know that they at least left some number of bolts in post board.
Yeah, I mean that's why I didn't want to bring in the Arcanist here. Our artisans here, Arcane Artisan. I'm gonna have to change because I call Arcane Artisan Arcanist for short, and now I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the cage doesn't really do anything to the rest of their deck either, so. I mean, maybe it's right, maybe Arcanist is that good, but I don't know. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. All right, that works. Looking for lands.
If I was looking at, I don't know. I'm not sure I would keep this, having no idea how to play the deck.
No.
I would look at it, and I would look at it and say that we're short lands and protection.
I mean, I don't think you ever mulligan a hand that has Grizzlebrand and Show and Tell in it unless you have just like straight no lands.
Okay.
See, everything works out.
We're still short. You say
Not...
that. Watch us get brainstormed into all. All right, fine. You win.
See, everything is for the best.
So second Grizzlebrand Delta here.
Yeah. I would do the Delta first. Oh, too late.
No, I did put the Delta on top.
No, I know. I would have put the Delta first. Well, I mean, they don't have discard. Playing around stuff they don't have anymore.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, maybe they answer this. I'd be really surprised. I mean, we don't even care if they force the show and tell at this point.
Yeah, we're just in the jam answers until they don't have any.
I mean, I guess the way we lose is if they force show and tell and surgical us. I guess that's the way we lose.
Yep. So we don't need the duel. So the only time you ever really need duels in this deck is Sneak Attack. Other than Sneak Attack, this operates as a mono blue deck. So because we're not going for the Sneak Attack line with this particular hand, we don't actually need to get the Volcanic Islands.
Yeah, we haven't seen one. That doesn't mean they're not there.
That also.
Yeah. You know, a lot of the weird looking rug decks have been running like 2 copies and some odd configurations. Yeah, I guess they could have back to basics, but they haven't been fetching all match like they do, so that wouldn't be on my radar. So we don't want the fetch here, do we?
No, we could shuffle.
I'm still not going to do it in step for you, Jerry. I don't have it in me.
God. I just have so much. Yep. When my opponent plays Sylvan Library and I'm playing Sneak and Show, I'm like, yep, go ahead. Sure thing.
Yeah, so here we can fetch the Volk, right?
Yeah, we could do Volk.
So I really don't think they have any daze effect. Should we try pondering first for...
See if we can get a Force of Will?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And even if they do have the daze effects, that's totally fine. Well, that's one of the better ponders. Ooh, you almost clicked yes.
Clicked yes for what?
Shuffle your library.
Look, I don't cast ponders. I cast brainstorms. Ponders are outside of my range.
All right.
Show and tell, I
Pitch.
assume.
Nah, I pitched Narset. We have what we would look for with Narset, so we don't actually need Narset.
So the only reason I would say show and tell is if somehow we lose. Somehow if his last three cards are, I guess we have the sneak attack coming anyway. But I was thinking if his last three cards are another force blue card and surgical.
But like Narset doesn't win us the game. Like show and tell wins us the game. Narset helps us find our show and tells.
All right.
We already
I'm trying to get
like
this,
if that
I'm trying to get this card to put in work, Jerry, and you're just not having any of it.
But it already has done the work it needs to do.
So we just sit on this, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So I don't think they have a way to win now. I don't think they have a way of dealing with this Grizzlebrand.
Certainly nothing we've seen. They're going to have to answer sneak attack next turn, too. Assuming we find anything to go with it. Lose you there for a second?
What's up?
I said, did I lose you there for a second?
I was reading chat. I get very pensive when I read. You know, I'm a sensitive guy. Sensitive guy.
So
also, your chat is much larger than I usually use. But I guess it's because you have your chat covered for streaming. I got the eagle eye, guys. I got the feet on the ground, boots on the ground perspective.
Jerry, I would like some apologies from whoever was insinuating that Wasteland wasn't in this deck.
Oh yeah, that would be bad.
Just saying.
That is also the wrong thing to Wasteland. They should have Wastelanded the City of Traders.
Well, I guess the thought process on their end is that we're going to have to lose it anyway to play a red source.
Yeah, but if we lose it anyways, it's in a situation where we are totally fine with that.
All right, so at this point, our draws are kind of limited to actually be able to use this sneak attack this turn, right? We would have
Yeah,
to,
I mean, well, I would draw 7 with Grizzly
you would
Brands.
still do it first.
Yeah, because we could get a Lotus Petal, and but we didn't get a Lotus Petal or the Emrakul. That's
So,
annoying.
do we want to just stop here, attack, and then play sneak attack?
Yeah. So attack. Now
Playing in the Wasteland again.
Yep. It's okay though. But see, this is why you Wasteland the City of Traders and not the Volcanic Island, because we're still playing sneak attack here. Whereas if they had gone in the City of Traders, we would not have been able to. Well, I guess we drew the Ancient Tomb, but they don't know that. They don't know that.
So Gristlebrand here.
Yeah, I would discard a Gristlebrand and a sneak attack. Oh, actually, we only need to discard one. I would just... No, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the right play. That's the right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what sequence would require us to have 3 Gristlebrands here.
Not many. Unless we start sneaking in Grizzlebrands as blockers, but it's not a position you want to be in anyways.
Solnox has now followed to this chat to complain about his current Magic Online matches.
Solnox, you can't salt in our chat because no one's listening to salt in your own chat.
He can't have his own chat yet. He's waiting for a better internet connection.
I see. Oh, he kind of made his own Grizzlebrand now.
He did this. The 7 versus 7 lifelink versus not lifelink is not a quality.
Oh man. Maybe he's hoping we play into the days.
I still don't think they have days.
Or not the days, sorry, the lightning bolt.
Oh, It's possible.
Nope,
Ooh.
they're playing whatever's last in their hands. A
Uh,
Narset.
so
Ooh,
it
I
would
think
be
we gotta
nice.
force this. I
It
think we
would-
gotta.
All right.
They have no cards left in hands.
How do you know? Does it say 0?
It says 0. Yeah, see? Of course we forced that there. They scoop.
Dude, I don't know what it is. There's only like 20 some people here, and Lawrence is now the second person. There's some bad influencers in this chat. We've got people complaining about their own matches. We've got multiple people predicting vapor. We're gonna get vapor snagged.
Oh, man. All the bad juju. All the bad juju.
So are you actually seeing Lawrence's name there reminds me? Are you actually coming back to the Leaving a Legacy mod chat anytime soon, or are you retired from that front?
I retired from social media.
You are not retired from social media. You literally just retweeted that we were playing this.
That was my secretary.
That's your secretary.
Oh, wow. Wow. I think we have to throw this back, even though it kind of hurts. But yeah, we got to throw that back. Unless you want to live dangerously off the Lotus Petal Ponder. All right, that works.
No, I don't see how that's a thing. Bottom?
I think we top it.
Really? Just assuming that the 5 mana sources and the 2 sneaks are good?
Yeah, you can bottom it if you want. Yeah.
No, I'm here to take lessons from the closest thing to a master that I know. This deck.
Like, the reason why I top that is because we have everything we need to win. All we're really hoping for is counter magic. But if they have wastelands, that can ruin our day.
Okay, so you're saying
so
we can go
that's why I
basic
want-
island, basic mountain,
Yeah.
tomb. Okay.
Like, we're going to see some draw steps before we combo anyways. So I would at least like to... All right, that's interesting. I would at least like to play around wastelands while we have, like, the guaranteed option to play around wastelands.
All right. So here, do we want to play around a potential chalice for 0, or do we want to hold this and play around a potential? Well, it doesn't matter. I guess Karn hits this either way, so we might as well just play it, right?
Yeah, we might as well just play it.
So how's this deck beat any of the Karn nonsense game 1? Just
I haven't actually even seen a Karn in play yet. I've been playing Modern and wasting time with the Vintage Cube.
okay.
So
this
is my first Magic Online Legacy League since the GP.
Okay. So just based off the list, do we even have a way, game 1? Do we even have a way to beat an ensnaring bridge?
Game 1, no, because we took out, like, Jace was our only option game 1.
Okay.
So we don't have Jace anymore. So we don't have Snaring Bridge.
Okay.
Other than just putting up a bunch of Grizzlebrands and Emmercools and hoping our opponent decks themselves while we cycle through our graveyard. There's always a way, Tom. Always a way.
All right. I was just curious. I mean, my deck's dead to ensnaring bridge game 1 too, so I'm very comfortable with that occurrence.
I would play the second Scalding Tarn of the Ancient Tomb too, by the way. That's what you're thinking.
Really? So you would just not show them it at all?
The sneak attack? I mean, I'm always reluctant to just throw a sneak attack out there and let it be, like, known information. Like, so if we cast sneak attack now, we're still putting a Grizzlebrand into play on the same number of turns as if we hold sneak attack and wait a turn. But the difference is sneak attack is sitting in our hand instead of sitting on the battlefields.
Sure. I mean, I would agree with that, but we actually have 2. So even if they somehow dealt with the one on the... We're only talking about information, because even if they somehow deal with the one in play, we still have another one coming down for the sequence you're talking about.
Yeah. House on one's fine.
I mean, I guess this could technically be Steel Stompy, and they could have something like Revoker.
I think if we just do Scalding Tarn, we're still presenting ourselves as Storm.
Yeah, that's fair. It's not like they can double Thought Knot Sierra. Well, I guess one's good enough, but
yeah, because one. I mean, I just think any situation where we'd get screwed either way, and this way we get to sneak attack in hands.
Okay. So the one counter argument I would have to that is if we do
drawing and finding Emrakul.
No, if we do get Karned next turn, it would shut the pedal off.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I wasn't considering that. Oh, well, we drew show and tell anyways. We could just do that.
So
Ancient Tomb, yeah. Show and tell, and then do they have a way to kill Grizzlebrand once it's in play? I don't think so.
They could have All Is Dust or Ulamog, but Ulamog's a cast trigger, so that's not going to actually do anything.
Right. Yeah, let's just show and tell in Grizzlebrand. Just follow up with Sneak Attack of Brand. I'm sure we'll find an Emrakul or another Grizzlebrand off of our draws. I like how Pat argues with me in private chat and then espouses my beliefs in public. God damn it, Pat.
What did he say? What am I missing here?
So he says, if/when Karn goes, Bomberman becomes irrelevant again. And that's something I told him, and he argued with me in our group chat.
Karn's not getting banned.
I don't think so.
No way. There are very, very obvious ways to... Interesting.
Maybe he's playing Basalt Monolith Mesmeric Orb.
No, I'm more concerned with he got to a relatively high amount of mana. He can already All His Dust. Not that would matter that much, but...
All His Dust isn't encounterable, right?
No, it is not. He's only 1 mana away from Ulamog, too.
Oh, jeez.
That would be significantly better. This is going to be a problem. So, do we want to draw and see if we can counter this?
Yeah, draw those cards. Surprised you haven't drawn already.
I'm patient.
You are so patient.
All right, that works.
Yep, I'd force that.
Pitching Fluster since it does nothing, I'm assuming, against this deck.
Yeah, I don't think unless...
I guess it does,
All
technically.
Dust,
yeah,
but...
It's already on 9, so... Yeah, the Karn decks are... there's a lot of Wasteland locks floating around now with Red and 6, and lands being a bit more popular at the moment, and 4-color Loam being a bit more popular at the moment, and there's a lot of 4 Wasteland decks, and recurable 4 Wasteland decks.
Don't forget Honey Bunches of Votes. I want the record to show I suggested we play Honey Bunches of Votes tonight, and Tom nade me.
No, I'm not running a 4 Ghost Quarter deck. Yeah, there's quite a few really good players that have tried that deck out. I look at it and cringe. It's like my nightmare. I'm playing Depths and I'm playing against a 4 Ghost Quarter, 4 Wasteland, recurable pile. That is not true. That is not true, DN Solver. Fluster has All His Dust as a target.
So Goblin Crater Maker, I think that comes in. I think that's pretty good in this matchup.
It seems reasonable.
Echoing Truth.
Click seems okay too, right?
Yeah.
If they fetch their one of lattice or their one of bridge kind of thing.
Yep, exactly. I think that's all we want.
So I'm assuming the soft counter, well, at least the Flusterstorms, right?
Yes. Flusterstorm's out. Spell Pierce probably out.
Spell Pierce is alright early.
Yeah.
Cutting off
Omniscience can come out because there isn't any situation where win an Omniscience.
Okay. Well, we still have a Pierce and an Omniscience, unless there's more you want to bring in.
We could bring in an Arcane Artisan as insurance in case they're bringing in like Revokers or Pithing Needles. It's just like another way to get a creature into play.
Okay. That sounds reasonable.
Narset can probably come out as well, but I just...
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could have... Well, we can look at it again. What would you even want to bring in over it? Just the extra Artisans?
Yeah, probably the extra Artisans are better than the Narset.
So I'm no expert. I'm assuming this is a snap mulligan.
It depends on how good Narset is, but probably a mulligan.
I mean,
we're not doing anything until turn 3.
Yeah, and we're on the draw, so...
If that Narset was a preordained, though, I probably would keep. It would be bad, but probably a keep. This hand also doesn't.
It's basically the same, except we have an early piece of interaction instead of a Narset.
Yeah.
So you would ship this too?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. We're just there and flounder.
Yikes. Lands and spells. Lands and spells, baby. Yeah.
Now I want to keep that.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bottom.
Yeah, I like the 6 better than the 7, honestly. I'd rather have a piece of interaction early than a turn 3 Narset cold. But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, we're losing this game miserably.
Yeah. I like how we bottomed an Ancient Tomb and still...
So what is there, 6 or 5 double
There's
lands?
5.
It's 5. Well, they thought sees us, jokes on, or thought not see us, jokes on them.
Yep. Can start hard casting Force of...
Maybe we would have been alright with the Narset hand.
Yeah, the way this game's going. Alright.
Volcanic, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
We're only multiple pieces away, Jerry.
Yeah, we just need A and B. But that's the point of the deck.
And they're about to have between 5 and 9 mana. We're in great shape. We got this. So what's the best thing Echoing Truth in this matchup?
Ensnaring Bridge.
Just the bridge. Okay.
I don't think there's anything else we'd want in Ensnaring Bridge.
So you basically have to either kill them with that swing or counter it on the way back down kind of thing.
Yeah.
And no. Do we care? Since we have the Echoing Truth, I'm assuming no.
Yeah. We also don't have any cantrips yet.
That's 2 chalices on 1, and we haven't had a single 1-drop yet.
Chalice on 1 is actually not that big of a for Sneak and Shout. No, we just both kept really reactive.
Yeah. I wish people that play decks that have clear spots where they're not going to be doing anything during sequences would take off a stop instead of waiting for 30 seconds during our upkeep. you ever timed anybody out with Sneak and Show?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's happened.
Is it
Especially
just,
when you have these hands where you both just kind of like stare at each other and nobody does anything for a while.
we found A.
All right, we got our A. We got our A.
During that long pause,
Well, that's not what we wanted to see.
so I'm assuming we bring Omniscience back in now.
Yeah, they have the Caracas. We do want the Omniscience. It's okay though. Still have sneak attack. We'll always have sneak attack, Tom.
So what you're saying is we're down. We're 2 pieces short again.
All right.
So do we start drawing a million cards since they're not doing anything?
Well, show and tell, Grizzlebrands, but that gives them the opportunity to throw something big into play that we can't beat. Well, we have the Echoing Truth too.
I mean, to be fair, well, they used to, but they still had 8 mana that turn, and they'll have 10 next turn anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what were they not going to be able to get into play? I mean,
Yeah.
granted, we have a force, or 2 forces, but I don't know. I think if they had anything like Endbringer, we would have seen it already.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so show and tell and Grizzlebrand, and just start drawing cards so we get sneak attack.
I mean, maybe they have some sort of bomb. Maybe they run Ashen, right? But I mean, they already can deal with the Grizzlebrand, so they already have the answer to this. We'll see.
Do, 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 do. What are you thinking about over there?
I don't know whether they might just be lagging because they had almost a full minute during our upkeep too, and they're a solid almost 6 minutes behind us, and not a lot's gone on in this match. So I'm assuming they're either having connection issues or they're double queuing, or they hate show and tell, and they're sending a message.
Maybe they're doing laundry.
It's also possible, but it's been a pretty consistent little bit of a delay after. Whoa.
Warping Whale.
So I think we just snap force this, right?
Yeah, I think we have to. I don't like doing that, but yeah.
Keeping the Echoing Truth, right?
Yeah, keep the Echoing Truth.
Voltaic Key. Start drawing. So do we go to 3 here since he has 0 clock, or do we want to play around like a Walking Ballista?
Nah, I'd say go to 3. If he plays the Walking Ballista, then all the power to him.
Okay. There's the sneak attack and Emrakul, so should be in decent shape.
We haven't. Have we played land yet?
We have not.
Oh, do we get a Lotus Petal?
We did multiple Lotus Petals. So
Yes.
we can just show in sneak attack, right?
Show in sneak attack and Emrakul. Get wrecked. No, play the City of Traders. City of Traders. City of Trade. No.
I didn't click anything. Relax. Jeez.
I get very emotional.
Kids today. I'd like to state for the record that the deck going from complete and utter garbage to having 13 cards in hand and 2 draw steps is absurd.
This is Sneak and Show.
I can understand why people hate this deck.
Yeah, it's like you think it's bullshit playing against Pikachu. You see the bullshit that I go through playing the deck. I'm like, I don't deserve to win, but I'm going to. Huzzah. Get wrecked, nub.
Man, that hand was atrocious too.
We still won. Still won.
Ugh. Yeah, if you would have told me our opponent wouldn't do anything for 4 turns, and that we would draw Show and Tell, and Gristlebrand, and Sneak Attack, and Double Pedal, and Emrakul, and Gristlebrand.
See, we didn't need omniscience. We did need omniscience.
Right.
We're off to a good start. I'm liking this.
Yeah, considering the game we lost was our own fault too.
Hey, we were going for the meme value, and memes are worth way more than wins.
It's true. I don't know that decision that cost us that game was completely horrible, but I think the safer line was.
Yeah.
Was
this is a mole.
Gristlebrand.
Snap mole.
Start.
Wow. Thanks, deck. I'm glad you hate us.
I'll take that as yes.
Yeah.
Keeping this.
Yeah, I guess so. Why not? Yeah, I'd bottom it.
Yeah.
By the time we can find enough lands to cast it, we'll probably find another. Ooh, that was a lucky top deck. Oh, man. Man, things are coming up daisies.
We'll see. We'll see. So we just sit here and step brainstorm.
Yeah, and step brainstorm.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether it was that line or brainstorm now on the off chance we like see a preordain or a ponder to try and set up next turn. But I guess they still have no idea what we're on, so this kind of hides combo a little bit.
Might be the mirror match. Also, I keep clicking on the icons on your screen, thinking that they're my icons. It's not how it works.
No. Oh, yeah, I just totally clicked right through that.
What? Sorry, what happened?
I clicked through his end step accidentally, laughing at you.
It's okay. We're going for the long game. I'm thinking more and more this is the mirror match.
Oh, I did not click who was through his end step. I clicked through our end step.
Oh.
So we're good. Yeah, triple volcanic island taking no other actions at this point does scream mirror match. Emrakul and draw, because we kind of want all of this, right?
Yeah, we do want all of this. Yeah, I would just
So
top
just
the
anything
brainstorm
and just
and
not shuffle.
yeah. So we're thinking this is the mirror match, which means show and telling in Emrakul is extremely dangerous.
Okay.
So
do you want to jam
I would-
Narset then?
Yeah, I would jam Narset.
I guess play this on the off chance they're somehow a Daze deck and haven't found a play.
Yeah, that's two.
Pausing on the Lotus Petal. any particular... We don't want a second basic here, right?
No, volcanic.
Not based off the way they fetched anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Use pedal here or use fetch?
I would use the pedal because we could still shuffle stuff away with the brainstorm if needed.
Fair enough.
Yes, we finally get to use Narset. Well, let's take that force.
You sure? I actually think I kind of like the Fluster, unless you're worried about sneak attack.
I'm worried about sneak attack. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Because this is really good for next turn. But, yeah, okay. That sneak attack's fair. Interesting thing about this is we really, at least in this deck, we have no idea to know how effective this is against our opponent. Like how many cards we're actually stranding.
Right. Yeah, this is definitely the mirror match. Yep.
So
I think we fight over it.
Now, do we pitch the show and tell then at this point?
Yeah, pitch the show and tell.
Hope they don't have another land, I guess. Hope they're out of red. How many volcanics does this deck run? It's usually 3, right?
3. Yeah, 3
so
volcanics.
So if they don't have they can't really draw with Gris, and they can't really have another red source unless they have another pedal.
Yeah, so unless they go Omniscience Emrakul, we win.
Okay.
But that is a possibility. They could have Omniscience Emrakul.
Damn it. Gristlebrand. Gristlebrand.
Pass?
Gristlebrand!
Pass?
That was definitely Gristlebrand.
It's pass. Tony Scapone.
Nice. Tony actually, I played him yesterday on Delver. He's actually just starting streaming. I think he streamed twice. He was on this afternoon.
Oh, so, nice.
Anybody that's interested in another Delver streamer, his Twitch name is the same thing. It's just Tony Scapone.
Mm-hmm. So 2 different ways we can play this, and we don't really know. They could just be the exact same 75, or they could be the Cunning Wish version. If they're the Cunning Wish version, we want to board in our creatures and actually try and win as a fair deck with sneak attacks. Or if they're just Mirror 75, we can just try and outplay them.
I mean, we didn't see anything that would tip that off because we saw Show and Tell, Omniscience, Brainstorm, Ponder, Flusterstorm. So all of those cards are in both 75s, right?
Exactly. There's no way to really tell us one way or the other.
In the dark, I would assume we just want to board it in the dark as opposed to guessing.
So Vendilion Click comes in either way.
Yeah. I would assume Artisan's pretty good.
Artisan comes in. I mean, well, if we're bringing Artisans, we're basically boarding out our Show and Tells and Omniscience.
Okay. I mean, that seems fair, right?
Yeah, that's preparing for the Cunning Wish version, which also works in the mirror match, so I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Artisans, Red Elemental Blast. Yeah.
They don't do anything.
And then a Crater Maker. We can get the cheeky Emrakul kill.
Looks like 60. We good?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess Narset's better than the second Crater Maker, yeah.
Yeah, Narset did. I mean, again, like we kind of said during the game, we'll never really know. But based on them playing that card, it was either Gristlebrand or they had a chaining cantrip kill or attempted a chaining cantrip kill. So I think Narset won that game.
Yeah.
So that seems very good against the 8 to 11 cantrip deck plus Gristlebrand, plus even if it's the Cunning Wish, they often chain through cantrips out of the sideboard too. If we're playing the creature defensive game, this seems alright, right?
Yeah, I like this. Do I still get does Amazon Prime members still get a free subscription?
You mean the Twitch Prime thing? I believe so.
Yeah. I just go volcanic. Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean it doesn't.
I would go volcanic lotus petal and then actually cast preordain. But okay.
Ah, okay. This is a control mirror, Jerry.
Yeah, but the chances of them going off turn 1 are very low, and even if they do, we have double counter backup, and then that way, preordain draws us to a threat.
Our preordain's getting deeper now, Jerry.
Yep, exactly. That's the way to look at it.
And we'll still have double counter magic next turn. I'm going to turn you into a more patient Sneak and Show player.
I don't think that's good for Sneak and Show players.
Yeah, I play too conservatively for depths too. I lost a 3-0 or 4-0, whatever. I played Brian Cook last night, and I lost because I took an extra turn to cast one extra discard spell instead of trying to kill him, just in case he had hidden a bounce spell with Brainstorm, and the one unknown that he drew was Infernal Toadyard, and he killed me. So I was very, very sad.
No.
So I need to get better at being a little bit more aggressive.
It's Bryant has killed me with Teleman's performance, so I don't think any of that would top that. So as long as you're not getting Teleman's performance, you're good.
Okay. So I don't think we want the Tarn.
Yeah, you bottom the Tarn. Yeah, I'd keep the Ponder. Just more cards to look at.
So Volcanic Ponder.
Yeah, play the Lotus Petal too.
Sure.
There's no point. Yeah, there's no point keeping Lotus Petal in hands.
I don't think he's going to force either of these. So I assume we want this.
We want that Artisan, yeah. And the Brainstorm. This is a pretty good Ponder.
I would say Delta on the bottom, Artisan, Brainstorm.
Yep, exactly.
Do Sneak and Show lists actually run any of the versions run answers to Artisan?
Blast.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so other than it being countered, it's a high likelihood this thing will survive.
Yeah, if Artisan survives, it's staying in play until the game's over.
Okay. That seems great. So here, if I had no advice, I would probably cast Artisan off City Island. So we have Pierce, Brainstorm, and Force Up.
Yep, I like that. Yay.
Is that you? Definitely not Jerry.
No, it's definitely not me, man. It says it in the name.
So we want Force Pitch.
Yeah,
or Force Pitch Brainstorm.
Force Pitch Brainstorm.
All right, so he's gonna need another piece.
Okay.
He's gonna need another piece here.
Now we can spell pierce the Force of Will.
Yep. We are unfortunately. So is there value in pondering here in case we find a giant thing on the off chance he just jams show and tell?
Yeah, that's the only scenario. We don't really need the mana off Lotus Petal anymore, so yeah, I would do that. Nope.
Yeah, just shuffle.
I'd shuffle. All right, cool. That's what we wanted to see.
I guess we could have fetched the other land away and brainstormed.
Yeah, but...
And then we would have some bluff value from not having shuffled Ponder, because if he just has a show and tell, he's just 100% jamming here.
Yeah. This looks like a jam.
This looks like
I'm
like
feeling
a sneak
jam.
attack. This looks like sneak attack. Yep.
No activate. It's just Grizzlebrands. It's just Grizzlebrands. Oh, he's going to 1. He didn't have it. He didn't have it.
Oh, now he does.
Yeah, now he does. Did he discard anything interesting?
I'm assuming this is just the mirror. Left the show and tells in.
He did. Activate. Tap it. Tap it.
Tap it for what?
For colorless. What are you doing?
Oh, this thing has another ability.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Activate it. Activate it. You don't know. You could get a blocker.
I could still do that, right?
Oh my God.
I'm still good to activate it.
Yep, sure.
We're good. Wasn't getting anywhere. What was that going to do?
Of course it will. Good. Fear me.
Yeah, and also, as Dan Solver points out in the chat, what were we blocking, Jerry? There is an Annihilator trigger.
Oh boy.
All right, so they kept show and tell in, and this is the mirror.
They did. So if they're keeping in show and tell, they're keeping in the omniscience. That might mean they're running cunning wishes, unless they're just keeping in the show and tells because they have balls of steel. Like that is the other possibility. I kind of like bringing in the second Crater Maker.
Over. Preordain.
Over.
Petal.
No.
Artisan number 3. Narset. Well, Narset was very good in the first game.
Narset was very good in the first game. Yeah, I guess there just isn't room for that Crater Maker. I think I want it over anything I have. But I do want it. Damn it.
Stop running so many good cards.
I know, right?
Sounds really bad, I'm assuming.
I think this is keepable.
I would never have kept this hand if you weren't
Just
here.
draw brainstorms. Just draw brainstorms and everything's fine.
I'll take your advice, but this is
No,
not.
we can mulligan.
I already took it. You gave the advice, and I took it.
All right.
Mull. We're going to need some help. So the idea is that Preordain's just going to start a cantrip chain.
That's my idea.
And we're eventually going to find Brainstorm since 5 lands is atrocious.
Exactly.
All right.
See, this is my world. Everyone else is just living in it.
Yikes. Bottom.
Yep, bottom. All right, good. That's what we wanted to draw. Don't worry, we're gonna top deck a brainstorm. What's wrong, Tom? You seem a little sad. Seem a little sad.
You know. Yeah, sometimes when you're staring at your hand and you're playing Legacy and you don't have a play until turn 4 against a combo deck that wants to kill you. It just seems bad.
Yeah, but maybe they kept just as bad a hand as we did.
I guess it's possible. Our opponent just jammed into 2 unknown cards last game, so I'm assuming that if they find anything, they're gonna jam here again.
Yeah, as Morphling points out, it's wasteland proof.
This is the right matchup to be wasteland proof. He's also wasteland proof, so our wastelands are also dead.
We're baiting out wasteland by playing volcanic first. Yeah. Now we get to play sneak attack on turn 3.
With no payoff. This is going well.
He's shaking in his boots.
I mean, to be fair, they probably have. If I was on their side of the table, I would assume we have to have at least a giant thing, given that we kept and have done nothing.
I'm just shocked that they kept in their show and tells, and we haven't seen Cunning Wish out of them yet.
Chat points out that it would have been a turn 3 if we'd kept the Ancient Tomb on top with the Preordain.
True, we should have kept.
We wouldn't have known about the pedal yet. The pedal would have been a sick top deck to get the turn 3 sneak attack go.
Creature.
Oh my god. So
I play Skeleton Tarn, yeah, because you're running out of things to put back.
There's no reason to show them this, right?
No.
Because then they just auto go for it.
Right.
Haha, opponent tricks on you. We have nothing.
Once you play a lands, we'll be able to hardcast Force of Will, though.
That's not nothing.
Yes.
I'm assuming we're doing this over keeping up hardcast Force of Will.
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh my
god. Keep the Brainstorm and then shuffle.
Yeah, I guess that works.
Then shuffle. Yeah.
So
volcanic. Then play the fetch.
Do we want to pass here to not just get jammed by Flusterstorm?
Yeah, I would do that. And then we can Brainstorm into their turn.
Yeah.
That also allows us to keep Force up, just in case we don't hit a blue card.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to hit a blue card, we wouldn't have it.
See, this hand is bonkers now.
Is it? Opponent's deciding whether to try and kill us or not. With backup.
See, this is the part of the game if you're playing in a paper tournament where you accidentally drop Force of Will on the table. Oh, sorry. Oops.
I think they actually have Force Beat. That's my prediction. I think they're worried about what comes down on our side. That's my completely ridiculous, no experience in the show and tell mirror comment.
We're having fun. It's the friends you make along the way.
So actually, we already shuffled post Brainstorm, right?
We did.
Okay. I'm actually like of half a mind to just take a draw step here.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right.
That's okay.
All right.
Oh, baby.
We're one blue card short of really being damage worthy here. So I'm just, what do you think? Fetch, jam number 1?
fetch, jam, and pass. And then fetch.
Might as well keep the pedal, right?
Oh, wait, that's nope. Oh, wow. Nope. We don't have enough. Oh, no, we have the islands. Woo-hoo.
No, I knew there was a second island. That wasn't.
Yep.
Well, what I wasn't sure whether we wanted to save the fetch for another possible ponder or brainstorm versus keeping
gotcha.
the extra mana.
I think we're okay with that.
Yeah.
We'll fight over the second one.
Yeah, it's possible we'll have double backup depending on our draw.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all.
Oh, I guess we have to, right?
Yep.
Lose to a stiff breeze. There's a stiff breeze. Oh, they chuck the omniscience. Maybe we're just getting...
Emmercooled.
They played a land, so if it's Gristlebrand, maybe we have a turn. What? No.
We have a chance if it's just Gristlebrand. Just Gristlebrand. Just Gristle. Yeah! Yeah! No Lotus Petal. No Lotus Petal. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. No whammy. No whammy. No whammy. No whammy. Yes, he's digging. He's still digging.
It's all right, Jerry. We're not resolving this sneak attack now. So
not with that attitude.
We're goners.
Not with that attitude. You should see some of the 14 cards I draw off Grizzlebrand.
He drew 21 cards.
You should see the 21 cards I draw off Grizzlebrand.
Oh, no, he did not. He chose to stay at 9.
He might not have the counter magic.
Staying at 9 is a little odd.
We're going to win this. I have a good feeling about this. I have a good feeling about this.
Do you know what I take staying at 9 to mean? That he has 2 Force of Wills and wants to be able to use them both.
No. Why
else would you stay at 9?
I don't know. Maybe he believes in peace, love, and the American dream.
There's the Force of Will.
All right, he hates America. What can I say?
Let's say it.
Man, these Sneak and Show players, they're just full of themselves. Like, I hate playing against them. They're the worst. Like, they just do these things, and then they just win the game.
Let's not do that.
Can I get a hell yeah?
This is apparently a friend of Lawrence's.
Oh.
He's done pretty well on the... I recognize that name. He's done well in the Star City events, I think. I think I've seen that.
Is that his actual name?
He said Joseph Horton. I recognize the name.
Oh, that's Pat. That's not Lawrence.
Who's Pat?
Leaving a legacy in chat?
No, right above that. Delicious Waffles.
Oh, yeah, Joseph Horton.
Yeah.
Pat says he's a local.
Okay. Yeah, I think he won... I want to say he won the really weird Legacy Classic in Syracuse where there was a snowstorm and like half of the top 16 like left, so they like rearranged the top 8 with like whoever was left and staying and played it out that way. It was really like when you looked at the like the deck dump versus the actual brackets, it was weird. But there's a Dan Neely sighting in the chat.
It's Dan Neely.
How's Maverick doing with the new sets, Dan? Any new, you guys running the Force or any of the new cards?
Dan, hear me out. I think you guys should cut Gaddock Teague. Like, just don't play him anymore. Just hear me out.
I'm assuming turn 3 with counter backup is a keep.
Yeah, I guess this is okay.
We're in the draw. It's not that fast, but it seems all right.
No, this is a pretty good hand. I would definitely keep this. We're probably going to top deck Ancient Tomb, and it's going to be even better.
Or Petal. I will also accept Lotus Petal.
Lotus Petal would be good.
Playing this deck doesn't feel nearly as dirty as I thought it would. Only the one game felt like we really just handed it to the opponent off the top of the deck.
I mean, the deck isn't as busted as people make it out to be. There is a lot of like, whoa, this is interesting. Max.
Tess, maybe? Yep. The good old imprint tendrils beginning. What? Are we getting entered the eons or enter whatever's going on?
What's going on here?
I would assume we just let this go and see what happens. I think it's going to be that blue card, the new Time Twister. Yeah. So if they want to do this, they have to discard what's left of their hand. Well, they gave us a free ponder and a brainstorm.
That was good. I like that. And we drew Spell Pierce, so that's probably the best thing we could draw.
Is that the first time you've ever turned down a draw 7 in this deck, Jerry?
I think it might be.
We're breaking new ground tonight.
It's true. What is going on? Oh, looks like the new Chandra just got spoiled.
Another one on top of the 3 they did the other day, or just are you looking at the...
Oh, this is the first I'm seeing of Chandra, Acolyte of Flame.
Yeah, they did like a triple spoiler.
Oh.
There's 3 of them. I think there's like one. There you go.
One at each rarity.
Yeah.
Now, does the deck feel disgusting?
Yeah, it was kind of gross. I mean, to be fair, I guess there's 9 outs there. There's the 5 double lands and the petals, so that's not really that. And we didn't have any cantrips to look for it. It's kind of gross, but it's not that gross.
Yeah, apparently I need to do like the turn 1 omniscience to make you happy.
Yeah.
I would draw cards because you could get a look to have that Spell Pierce up.
That makes sense. Another Entomb.
What are they Entomb for?
They got another enter. But if we find counter magic, we would just counter that anyway, so.
Right.
Should we go another?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any creatures. Let's try and find that Lotus Petal. There it is. Now we have Fluster. Now we have... Oh, and a second one? Oh, yeah, we're good.
This is kind of gross. All right, we're back to gross territory.
Gross!
So...
Guard Grizzlebrand, Emrakul, lands...
Brainstorm sucks.
Yeah.
We need the second Grizzle.
I think the second brings in. Oh, okay, that too.
Yeah, so they're just dead next turn.
Wow, you're going so greedy.
What's that?
Going greedy. You don't even want to give him a chance to fight back.
Greedy. Just dead on board with Flusterstorm back up. This didn't seem that complicated.
I just like giving my opponents a sporting chance.
All right. Yeah, not in the business. I wouldn't be running this deck if it was in the business of giving people chances. So the really fast storm deck.
Yeah. Vendilion Click. Well, maybe Vendilion Click's too slow, but
Yeah, maybe Blast is fine because if the blue card's one of their big payoffs.
yeah. Grafdigger's Cage doesn't do anything because. All right. Well, do they run Passing Flames? Probably not.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't think.
I've never played
Maybe.
against an Entomb
Yeah, I
version.
have no idea what this deck does.
I would assume it's just trying to go off or do a draw 7 as soon as possible. That was
Yeah.
basically.
I think
what
we
the
just.
gist
I think we
like.
just cut the Omniscience and call it a day.
Yeah, Narset would be hysterical if we could like double.
Yeah, if we
pile
get
out a
Narset in
or
play.
something.
It's like nice Echo Wave the Aeon.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. I guess Arkin's done for the night. If you're here, thanks for the host, Arkin.
This is keepable. Is my voice less robot-y now?
It sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, my only concern with this is we don't have any early interaction, so if he does any kind of...
We have the Spell Pierce.
Yeah, but I mean, this is probably a deck that tends to...
Tends to turn one.
Yeah. Wasn't sure whether we would want to possibly...
Oh, they run their own Narset.
I mean, that makes sense. Arkin
What
spamming,
up?
Arkin spamming the Jedi. Jedi. I don't even know what half of these emotes are.
I know I'm old because I don't know what like emotes are and the purpose of emotes.
Well, Arkin's got like 12 or 13 different emotes. There's a new one that I really like that's R2D2, dumping salt on the ground, which is a pretty sweet emote.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think Magic needs to sell Magic themed salt shakers because I play other games that sell salt shakers
There they are, right
with
there's
the logo.
There's the R2D2, Jerry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we need more of that.
Right. That's just disgusting.
Oh, Arky coming in the X-Wing? Hell yeah. Ponder.
No, yeah, I don't think they're gonna second discard us, right? The only thing I was thinking was to hold Brainstorm up to hide Force if we need to, but this is probably just better. So,
Okay.
since they have discard, do we want to keep Show and Tell at the bottom of these three?
Yeah, we do Misty, Show and Tell, Island. Oh, at the bottom. Oh, what you're saying?
So
well, we would have.
So we don't draw it until the turn we need it.
We would have Brainstorm up. Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I like that. Oh, it's the puppers. Tell the puppers I say hi. They had another thoughts.
So, do we want to preordain, draw the Show and Tell, and then scry the other one and Brainstorm looking for another Force, or do we...
Yeah, we'll play the islands, preordain, and then we can hold Brainstorm up on their turn. Ooh, defense grid. I would cast Brainstorm now.
I mean, do we... Yeah, I guess I should have. I guess I should
Yeah,
have. But there's no real... I mean, we're not going to be able to stop what he's doing next turn anyway. But yeah, we should have had the extra looks. So, this is probably a really dumb question, but is clicking them during their... Oh, I guess we can't do that, right? Yeah,
You can't do that.
Okay. So there's no reason
We
not
can
to
click.
just...
Well, they only have 2 cards in hand, so they just might not have anything. I say we click them now, just to stop them from doing whatever they're gonna do, and just hope they draw straight nothing, and then we can show and tell in Grizzlebrand.
Okay.
Like, the only way that they win this is if they have land. Oh no, they can't even cast it. So what are they?
No, it's a 6-drop in hand, I think. We're talking about the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything we're afraid of them having now?
Not really. I think we should probably just put this into play, because then we get to draw a million cards, and if they can't kill us next turn, then we'll have 3 up to pay for our interaction.
To pay Force of Will and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I think the card's going to have to come off the top if they're going to kill us.
So they need the card plus Lion's Die. I did.
If they're killing us that way. I don't know what else
Right.
they have. Yeah. Unless they were just really afraid of our scry to the top off the preordain. But it doesn't look like that's the case.
Okay, I think we just win here. Okay, that's cool. Thanks for playing. Oh, what are you doing? Why are you attacking? No! No! Tom!
Oops. You always attack with Marilage. It does 20 damage, Jerry.
But if you drew into Sneak Attack, Emrakul, Ancient Tomb, you could have just won.
It's fine. It's fine. Think about it this way. We're going to draw...
Why? No!
We're going to draw 21 cards, Jerry. And Force of Will their payoff, all right? We're the control deck here.
This is like why I can't be the passenger seat of a car, because I'm just like, pull over.
Look.
Speed up. Slow down.
Look, they're going to need more than 1 payoff to win through this. And we're
Yeah,
gonna...
thank you. This is proof that Sneak and Show is hard, because look at all these mistakes.
This isn't a mistake. I'm playing the control role. Just because you can't take a 5th turn of magic as opposed to 4 turns of magic. You gotta learn how to play it right.
I draw cards.
No, I'm thinking about it. I had to give you a minor heart attack there.
Oh my god, my agina's acting up. No, don't. Oh, yeah. Well, okay, cool. That's cool.
I would like to point out that we would not have gotten there with your line.
You can red blast that.
I don't know whether I want to. If we red blast this, we don't have a follow-up, right? But I guess they can't really do anything with 2 black.
Yeah. Also, don't red blast and then flash in Vendilion click end of turn, and then we just win.
Well, we can't. They have defense grid.
Oh, yeah, we can't.
So, I think we just blast this, because I can't think... Can you think of anything they can do with 2 black mana?
Yeah, that's true.
I can't think of anything. They have 1 card and 2 black mana.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd blast this, because they're probably hoping to draw in 2. That's why, yeah, I'd blast it. Blast it dead.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the pass priority. They're probably just trying to figure out how I got lost and ended up on this deck.
Yeah.
and wondering if I'm going to learn to play it correctly. Yay.
Yay.
I don't think that deck's going to be around very long. It just seems like just the impression from... I mean, granted, that's only 1 match, and I played a match against something similar on depths. It just seems like it's a more
fragile.
It's a more fragile Tess. Like, if you want the early turn deck, it seems like Tess is a little bit... I mean,
It's like, do you want to play test but be especially susceptible to graveyard hate? And
yeah,
fine.
like, well, I mean,
Testable.
it's not necessarily susceptible to graveyard hate if you have everything you need. So if they have the Eons card and Lion's Eye Diamond, you can't respond to the Eons being in the graveyard before they can pop the diamond. The diamond doesn't give you a window before they can flash it back, so they can actually resolve the Eons through graveyard hate, but you know,
True.
it just seems overall,
It just seems clunkier.
yeah.
Bleh.
You don't like the
If I was being the devil on your shoulder, I would tell you to keep it. So this is a hand I would mulligan in a GP and keep an FN.
Well, this is kind of like an FNM, right?
It's kind of like an FN. I probably will. Okay, yeah, I'll keep it.
It's FNM.
We already have our 3 wins, so we're good. We made our money back.
Plus 1 chest. Yeah, this is better than the other hand you talked me into keeping, where we had 6 lands or whatever it was.
Yep, and everything's turning up daisies. We're
Start
good.
on preordain, I guess.
Yeah, preordain first.
Yeah, I'm getting, even though Pat hates me, I'm just going to get basics.
Preordain.
Sure.
Oh, yep, sure.
Sold.
Totally okay with that. That's cool. Whenever my opponents counter my cantrips, I'm kind of secretly happy.
Yeah, I'm guessing they plan on tapping out over the next couple of turns. Maybe an Arcanist here. Yep.
Yep. There's the Wastelands.
Because I'm familiar with the opponent, and they are usually a very strong player. So I don't think they would have pierced that without a good reason.
Good thing you have me on your shoulder.
Nice.
We got the show and tell for the Omniscience, but not much besides that.
Well, we have the Ponder behind it, right?
True. So, Islands, Petals, show and tell. Draw the show and...
You don't like playing the pedal out?
I was thinking just shuffling with Scalding Tarn and casting Ponder again here.
Okay. The only reason I was thinking it the other way is because we could technically show and tell through days with the pedal. But I guess if a fresh card and just waiting a turn makes more sense.
Yeah. Then...
So you like pondering now?
Yeah, I like pondering now.
No respect for days at all.
Listen, we don't play this deck to play around days.
So another basic, I'm assuming, with the Wasteland chilling.
Yeah, another basic.
That seems like everything, right?
That's everything we need. Wonderful.
So
Mountain,
Force.
Emrakul. Yeah, exactly. So I guess I don't really respect days as much with this deck because when you play City of Traders and Ancient Tombs, you tend to shrug off days pretty quickly.
Well, days is actually kind of annoying in this particular situation.
In this situation, yes.
Because Days and Force does it here.
So he's not really presenting a clock, so we can wait to draw that mountain and still be able to play off.
I don't know that I agree with that. He's double cantripping every turn.
That's true.
So he ponder shuffled and he's about to ponder again off the Dreadword.
True.
So, I mean, yes, that gets us through Days.
But it allows him to possibly draw into a second.
Yeah, the worst case scenario here is he's going to start chaining cantrips. Because he just got 4 looks off the first ponder, plus his draw step, plus at least another 3 or 4 looks off this. So when they're seeing 8 to 9 cards, they're at the very least, at least they shuffled both. But yeah, I don't know that it gets better. Especially when they didn't even play a land yet. If they miss their land drop, okay, at least they have a land. I was going to say, what's in their hand if they have 6 cards and no lands, but okay, at least they... So yeah, I don't...
Okay, I think you're right. Now's the time to get the show and tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of awkward because it's realistic that they could have Days plus Force after seeing that many cards. But I just don't know that it's getting better.
And I mean, worst case scenario, if they do counter the show and tell,
We
we
have
follow
sneak
up
attack,
turn. But we're shuffling. Get the mountain, yeah.
Pick a boy.
Force one time. Feels miserable.
Yep. Yeah, force the days.
Wow.
See? Everything's great. Everything's great.
We even lost to double days there.
See, Morphling. This is fine. Arcanist on the battlefield. This is fine.
You know what happened there? They bricked on all of those looks with Ponders with the double shuffle.
I don't know. I forgot to tell you this, Tom, but the only reason why I win any games at Magic is because I am unreasonably lucky for my own.
Look, you didn't want to go for it there. That hand definitely had another cantrip. They were getting another 7+ looks next turn.
That's true. All right, so
Delver.
defense grids, Lavamancers.
Is Lavamancer even good anymore against Arcanist?
I think you still have to have it to kill all the other stuff, but
Okay.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm just floating the question. Not really sure.
I think Red Blast comes in. I don't think we need the Omnisciences in this match, so those can come out.
Narset might be a little bit ambitious against the Daze
Yeah,
deck.
I think. Yeah, against the
Blaze
Daze
of
deck and
One,
also
yeah.
the creature deck. Yeah, I think Narset comes out. Well,
They may also be bringing blasts in.
yeah. And then I guess just a preordain to shave.
Second Narset too.
Oh yeah, I was saying take out both Nars.
All right.
You don't really want Echoing Truth against Pyromancer tokens because that's just buying. Like it's not really where you want to be. See, this is good. No,
Yeah?
we're gonna win with Grim Lavamancer beats.
All right.
Trust me, Tom.
I mean,
have I ever steered you
The
wrong?
reason I like this hand is because it's sneak attack with Daze payment on turn 2.
Yep.
So if we draw anything, they're going to need a hard force.
See, they're gonna go Delver Secrets, and we're
And
gonna go
they-
Grim
And they
Lavamancer.
very well may fight over the Lavamancer too.
Exactly. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. This is fine. Yeah, play around that Daze. I'd play the second Lotus Petal too.
What, just to not run it into Pierce? I mean, what's the reasoning behind wanting it in play?
Just because there's no downside to having it in play. I mean, we're gonna want it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if we were on the show and tell plan, we wouldn't want to be upping the fluster count. But no.
Also, like worst case scenario, we can sack it to get cards in our graveyard to kill something with Lavamancer.
Should we have actually, or I know you didn't do it. Should I have actually played the Tarn?
Yeah, I was thinking that in case we draw a second fetch land.
No, I think we're just jamming a sneak attack anyway, so we're gonna end up with the pedal and
Yeah.
the fetch in the yard. So I think we're okay. No, I guess we don't actually. Do we want to cast the sneak attack off the tomb and the pedals?
Yeah, because we still get to keep one Lotus Petal. Yeah, I'd cast the sneak attack.
Well, no, we can't keep a pedal if we want to actually activate the Lavamancer.
Yeah, we can.
How are we gonna have 2 cards in our graveyard?
Oh no, I'm saying like we use the pedal to pay for Lavamancer. So
Does that actually work that way? You don't have to have the cards in your graveyard before the payment?
you make red mana and then activate it.
That is really basic.
Don't worry, Tom. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Sold.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm down with that.
So here you just wait to see if they bother to show us a card with Delver.
I mean, I think even if he flips it, that I think we still want that pedal over taking 3 damage.
Okay.
Like, I would only activate it if he bolts the Grim Lavamancer, and then I would trade.
Okay.
Yep, so he showed us days, so that's relevant.
Oh, he shuffled it away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess. So you think the value of the pedal is better? Arkin's saying that if we killed it main phase or during before their turn, we would have cut them off of that free scry. So here you still prefer to take the 3?
I still think take 3. We don't have any, like, we don't need sneak attack and
So just still hold it.
yeah, still hold it. Because if we top deck a creature, ponder. All right, so I would ponder. Shuffle off this ponder. All right, cool.
Fetch pass.
Yeah, fetch pass, and then Lavamancer, the Delver before damage.
Okay.
So I didn't want to use the Lotus Petal because if we had top decked a creature there, we could have Lotus Petal to cast Sneak Attack and also act. Giant Growth. Nope. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean the play makes sense from their perspective.
It does.
They
It does.
have, yeah. So,
I can still gloat if he can't hear.
so based on the fact that they played nothing there, do we want to just?
Yeah, I was thinking
show
that too.
and tell?
Jam a show and tell to play the
Okay.
Ancient Tomb.
I mean, worst case scenario.
We put Sneak Attack in off of it.
Yep. And I think if they have a force, or a blast, that this is definitely getting hit. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, they don't put like a Tarmogoyf in play. Nope, another land.
Yeah, I don't. I
Now
think
we all feel silly.
I mean, with 3 lands, I think they would have played any creature they had, because they still would have had mana up.
Right. They probably have another land in hand. So that was the card.
So do we face
Nope.
them here with 2 cards, or do we just let it go?
Facing him puts him at 16 and then 14, which is within a single
One hit.
Emrakul. Yeah, I would face them because if we top deck Emrakul, we can kill them next turn. Not that swinging with Emrakul usually doesn't. Ponder. I actually dealt 20 damage with Grim Lavamancer at F last week. It was a pretty great feeling.
All right.
All right. Okay.
So I'm just going to attack them here. Does that make any sense? Does that matter?
I would just keep the Grim Lavamancer up. We still have cards in the grave.
All right.
Come on, Robin. Okay, okay. Come on.
I mean, it feels like if they play a guy, we can just untap and kill it anyway.
True. It's feeding time.
No, Remy came down and she's on the couch, and little Ferris likes to jump on the couch, and then he talks to her.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
I was looking at the dog. I didn't even realize. We're fine.
Why do you do
This is
this to
fine.
me?
This is fine, Jerry.
It hurts. My heart.
I was watching the dog. The dog is much cuter than Gristlebrand.
My heart. Someone call 911.
Relax. We're good.
Kill it. Kill it dead. What do you... Ah!
What? We could still kill
Kill
it. Yeah.
Kill it with Grim Lavamancer, yeah.
There's no reason not to let the trigger go. This is easily the best game of the league.
Yeah, so you were saying Grim Lavamancer wasn't good anymore. I am seeing evidence to the contrary.
Yes. If our opponent does not draw Arcanist, it's
Put it
very,
in
very
end step.
good.
End step. Sneak and what are you killing me? You're killing me.
Relax.
You never know when
Look.
you need that extra red mana.
Say it one more time, and I'm passing again. Would you like to draw 7 cards here?
He might have the bolts. Oh no, he just scooped.
That was great.
That was most excellent.
All right. So what do we-
Yeah. Arkin has a good point. We just slow rolled the fuck out.
Look, that wasn't a slow roll. I was literally not paying attention. A slow roll is when you know you have it and you intentionally take your time. I was doing this, watching the dog, and just was clicking randomly. I wasn't trying to
my
slow roll the
God.
opponent. Our
That
opponent
was
was
fun.
also a very, very
You
good player, so I would not have done that on purpose. I wouldn't do that to anyone on purpose, but I certainly wouldn't do it to...
I know you're too good of a person. I think that easily could have been a 5-0 if. Yeah.
I don't even remember what did we actually lose. Oh, we lost on the...
We lost that one where I convinced you to keep a terrible mulligan.
Is that what it was?
I thought so.
It was... No. We lost... It was the mirror, but I thought we just...
yeah, it was
we
the
just had
mirror.
a awful... Or was that the 5 land hand keep? I don't remember.
That was the.
We lost one of the 2 games in this match because they we shuffle preordain or bottom. I forget exactly what we do, but we only had 2 cards in hand, and he jammed into us with a show and tell and won this game. So I don't think we could have done anything different there.
Yeah.
Don't remember how the 3rd game went. I think we just kept a land heavy hand and flooded out a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was, because I remember sitting there with a sneak attack, like 3 or 4 lands in hand, and a single Force of Will, where we were discussing getting to 5 mana to hardcast Force of Will while they were sculpting.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, I don't think we had. I mean, we could have mulled the initial mana heavy hand, I guess, but I don't think it was. I don't know. We kept a couple of other similar hands that got there. So I don't know.
The payoffs.
I don't know that you can single out the one hand that we kept a mana heavy hand, assuming that the one cantrip or we'd get there when we got there 2 or 3 other times doing the same thing.
Right.
So, but yeah, overall, this was the punt was here. We lost the game because we decided to put sneak attack in a play
Instead of Grizzlebrand.
against a rogue deck instead of Gristlebrand, and they hydro blasted the sneak attack. That was the punt. I think they very good player, and I don't think we didn't put much resistance up in the 3rd game, so I think this was a legit 4-1.
True.
And I know we did something really dirty here. I forget exactly what it was. Was this the mull to 5 where we had force and 3 lands, and the next 2 cards were
like show and tell
And
Griselbrand.
Griselbrand, draw 14, kill them. Yeah, that's what that
Right.
So this was kind of ridiculous. So the variance kind of evened out. I think this was legit. So this is your first taste of Legacy since the GP. What do you think of the changes so far?
Less than I expected. So we saw a lot of Arcanists, which I was expecting to see more Karns, but we saw more Arcanists than Karns.
We did see one Karn deck. But
We
yeah,
saw one Karn, but like it just literally didn't matter for us.
Yeah. Well, I think that was kind of how the game played out. Like we definitely cantripped into, or Griselbrand, I forget what. We definitely drew into the Force of Will when they did play their Karn. I think the Karn deck could be a problem for this game one, especially if they're playing it on turn 2, where the bridge is coming down right behind it. Your deck.
So
this deck's go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I could see adding Force of Negations to the sideboard if Karn ends up being that big an issue. Same with like it's Rigid.
Okay. Yeah, I know these looked good, but I don't know. If their primary use is Delver decks, is that the general gist of why they're here?
No, the primary use is hate bears. So killing Thalias, Gaddock-Teagues, Therium, Therium Canonus.
So
is
it's
that
just
what it
splash. So it's just splash damage for the Delver decks then.
Yeah, like killing Delver stuff is cool because you slow them down. Like especially good against like red Delver, and like Delver decks that run Young Pyromancer, which is a benefit. But yeah, the primary use of the Grim Lavamancer is it's a house against Death and Tax, a house against Maverick, it's a house against even elves. So it's just there for like dealing with the creatures that you gotta deal with.
Okay. Now, do you think, because you tested with this a bunch leading up to the Grand Prix, do you think changes need to be made to this list for the Mulligan rule too?
Yeah, that's a good question. Someone actually just pinged me on that on the Show and Tell Facebook page, seeing what I thought about it. I honestly don't. Like, I think the deck is already optimized where the London Mulligan just literally makes it better. I think maybe things like Narset get moved to the sideboard and you just go more pure gas and you're going like more preordains instead of the Narsets, and that way going a more all-in for the London Mulligan. So I could see like small changes like that, but I honestly don't think much of the deck changes with the London. I think the deck is just already really good for London.
Okay, like I guess the spots that I was looking at are are the cages good enough against like the black red decks and the other shells that are going to be really really fast, or would you consider something like Leyline in that spot, or is that just not, or does that just not fit in this kind of deck?
I hate Leylines just so much. I hate Leylines in any deck that can't actually cast them, especially when there's so many alternatives.
I don't know what you're talking about. You can clearly cast them.
I would put Surgicals in over Leyline. Like,
okay.
If Red Black Reanimator becomes super dominant, then yeah, those cages probably become Fairy Macabres and Surgical Extractions.
Okay.
But from my experience testing with the London Mulligan before the GP, like, yeah, Red Black Reanimator happened, but it wasn't that big of a. Okay. It's almost kind of like herd immunity. I expect everyone else to deal with Red Black Reanimator, so I don't have to. Like, everyone else is packing so much hate for them that I don't have to as a side effect.
Okay, so the meta share will be low enough where you're not worried about it, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, Arkham brings up a good point. Force Negation helps Reanimator. Yeah, I'm hoping Force Negation foils come down a bit, because that's the other thing. Whenever I make changes to my deck, I also have to get the card in foil, and that actually sometimes affects my decision depending on how expensive it is. So
nice. So given, he also asked about the Seiju in the sideboard. So given that a lot of decks may also add Force of Wills 5 through 8 or 5 and 6 or whatever it ends up being, do you feel like the Seiju or another method would be necessary to help fight other decks having more copies of Forces too?
So if that ends up being the case, I don't actually play this version of the list anymore. I switched to the cunning list version.
Okay.
Beseiju just doesn't do enough in this because literally the only spell Beseiju casts is show and tell. Nothing else can be cast off Beseiju list. Well, I guess other than the one of X, but like it only works with show and tell, so it just doesn't have a high enough effect in this deck. But with the Trinity Tell lists that are running like Intuition and Cunning Wish and Impulse, Beseiju is much more useful with those. So if it gets to that point where there's just a ton of Force Wills and a ton of Force Negations everywhere, I probably go to the Cunning.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, I think it's going to take a bunch of testing to really get a feel for how good these Narsets are.
I know, right? Like
Yeah,
in our matchups, it was most useful being pushed to kill most often.
Yeah, I thought there was 2 spots where it was likely to have made the difference too, though. But we don't really know that for sure. They could have just had nothing in their hands. But it certainly felt like, at least in the game we won in the mirror, it certainly felt like they either had a pile of cantrips or a Gristlebrand to go with that omniscience they showed in when we won.
Yeah,
so we definitely won that game.
It's also like, is it better than Jace? Like, it always felt like on turn 3 we had something better to do besides cast Narset, and when we were casting Narset, we could have just been casting Jace instead.
Yeah, I don't know that we cast it on turn 3 with only 3 mana up.
Like, I don't think we ever did that.
Yeah, if it was once.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you prefer to just have the 3rd preordain again?
I think that's definitely correct, because I mean I was running 3 preordain, 1 and I think that's the correct number. I shaved another preordain just because I wanted to see the Narset more often. So I definitely think the correct number of Narset is that Narset. And it might not even just be 0, because there are quite a few people who just don't run Jace at all because they'll just Planeswalkers in general or deck. I also think Narset is one of those cards that's probably better in the Cunning Wish version than this version.
Okay.
Because the Cunning Wish version, I think you would like the Cunning Wish version better, Tom, because the Cunning Wish version is a more patient deck that plays more control-y, whereas the Sneak and Show version is just like, oh, I have the combo, jam it until they die.
So what slots end up being the Cunning Wishes?
So Grizzlebrand goes to 3, Sneak Attack goes to 3. Preordain goes to, well, Preordain's already at 2. The Narset's disappear. Omniscience goes up 1, so Omniscience goes. And you.
You cut out.
Flusterstorm or Spell Pierce.
Okay.
And then also a lot of them will.
Okay, what do you lose out of the sideboard to make space for all the tricky cards?
Yeah, so Lavamancers probably have to go, much as I hate to say it. Grafdigger's Cages have to go, or at least get trimmed. The Grafdiggers become Surgicals. Arcane excuse me, Arcane Artisans go to 2.
You okay?
Sorry about that.
Sound like you're losing a lung.
I was losing a lung.
Is that from all the social media screaming?
It's true. All the social media, I feel my health points down the lung lasts.
So now that you've had not to change the subject abruptly on you, but now that you've had a week to absorb everything, you had Honorog on the cast, you still feel as strongly, or are you more in a still against it, but a little bit more level kind of place?
No, I still think the London Mulligan's bad for.
So you still think it? I'm not necessarily mean like still bad, but do you still think it's gonna like lead to bannings?
Yeah, I would say it's probably going to lead to bannings, but I can also see Wizards just not banning anything and just letting all the for a while. Because I mean, how long did it take to ban Divining Top? You
Quite a
know,
while.
yeah. So like, I think it should lead to bannings. Whether Wizards will actually ban anything is another question. Does that make sense?
That is a yeah. I think your stance makes sense. I think I'm just slightly closer. I'm still on your side of the fence, but I think I'm slightly closer to the point of view of that. I just think it's going to create less enjoyable game states in a way that just
Oh
you
yeah.
slowly start to feel over time. Not that it's going to be so bad that one deck's so much better than any of the other decks, because I think Legacy is resilient in a way that there's so many. There's no one deck that can't be hated out. So I think it could become very easily cyclical. That if Gristlebrand decks or Blackwood Reanimator are over the top, the hate's so good that if Chalice decks are over the top, there's enough cards to deal with them. Like I think it can get to the point where any deck can be reasonably answered. It's just going to be if the top 4 to 6 strategies are all just, I mean, even now it's sort of trending that way. Like even the control decks Miracles is basically like they're running piles of Narsets, which is basically a lock piece, shutting down cantrips and back to basics and that sort of stuff. So if it's all just people jamming bombs first or trying to jam a protected bomb first, I don't really particularly enjoy gameplay where everyone's incentivized to just, like, from a combo perspective, like from a depths perspective or like a storm perspective. I don't like feeling priced in to having to take riskier lines. Like from like Ant, I don't have a ton of reps with it, but when I played it, I really enjoyed the aspect of you could just be patient. You could sit back, you could play your cantrips, you could sculpt, that kind of thing, and then try to win a long game. Where I don't think that's really a reasonable strategy at times now. When if you're going to try and win a long game and they just jam Narset, where it shuts off all your cantrips and they dig 4 deep for another piece of interaction, where Karn shuts off all of your Lion's Eye Diamonds and Lotus Petals, I don't know. I don't enjoy that type of. I mean, certain decks doing it, I think that's great for variety in the format. But when those cards are everywhere, and even some of the cooler cards like the Arcanist, I think is a little bit overpowered. Like where they're just seeing so many cards, like from a combo player's perspective. Like in the one game we were against it where they saw 9 cards in one turn. And it's like, yep, we just have to jam into this because they're going to see at least another 7 cards, 6 or 7 cards next turn.
I'm wondering if Sneak and Show should run Arcanist, like seeing how many cantrips they saw with that. Like,
yeah, I think the problem, at least from a game 1 point, the problem is that you currently ignore all of spot removal.
Right, exactly. I mean, it would be sideboard.
Yeah, running a card that just runs face first into spot removal doesn't seem great, but
yeah. But going back to your point about the London Mulligan, I mean, yeah, I think that's where a big misunderstanding. Like, I don't think the London Mulligan is bad because it'll lead to bannings. Like, bannings happen. It's Magic. It's Legacy. It happens. Get over. Like, I don't think anyone should quit Magic because of bannings. Why I think the London Mulligan is bad is because, like you said, it's gonna lead to these like bomb type plays, and also it's just people playing past each other, and it kind of turns the format. I'm afraid of it turning into modern is really what it comes down to, where it's just you have your insane play and you have your sideboard hate pieces, and it's just who got it first. And I feel it's going to lead to very like homogenized lines of play where matchups are going to have almost the same exact opening couple turns each time, and it's just going to lead to less enjoyable format because everything's going to be so predictable, and it's be like, okay, did you get your hate piece? Did you get your hate piece? Okay, let's mash them together and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, it's also interesting. Like the test period was so short, and obviously you guys talked about it in the cast, and a bunch of people have talked about, the sample size and what was going on during that time period. But just different people's experiences, even on the same decks. Like Arkin just made a comment about how Dredge seemed basically bad post board because people were boarding for it. But I know a couple of other skilled Dredge players that were talking about how great they did during certain periods of it. So you just have this range of experiences to people that had that. I don't know. I think we need a much bigger sample size before.
Yeah, I don't think the graveyard decks, Dredge, Reanimator, I don't think any of break the format with the London Mulligan because they are easily hated out. I think it's the really resilient combo decks that are gonna break it in half with the London Mulligan tech steps, and I think Sneak and Show especially because you know, there's so many different ways Sneak and Show can win that even if you're digging to your sideboard hate, if you're not getting the right sideboard hate, you can still lose the game. It's like, okay, you dug for your Containment Priest, well, I dug for my Arcane Artisan, still win. Or it's like, oh, you dug for your Ensnaring Bridge, I dug for my Cunning Wishes, I'm going to win that. So I think they're like the graveyard decks is what everyone was afraid of, and it's not really what I because it's so easy to find the hate for them. It's the resilient combo decks that have many in that are
Yeah, I think the A plus B combo decks are good, but it's kind of hard to tell where they're going to be. Like from certain perspectives, they're going to have people are going to have the additional new copies of Force of Will that hasn't really been fleshed out how the lists are going to look. From a depth perspective, Ren and Six is a really annoying card to play against, where Rug Delver and a few other decks are going to have Wasteland Lock Recursion naturally in a card that randomly kills Hex Mages. Um,
oh yeah, that's true.
and a variety of decks are going to run that thing as a turn one play. Whether that's four color loam, just running that out, on turn one, and there's just a lot. So we'll see how the combo decks do. I don't know that they're necessarily going to run amok because all these new cards still have to change the format too. It's just everything all at once is going to make it a mess to try and figure out what caused what.
That's the thing is I think the changes in the detriment of the London Mulligan is going to be a lot more subtle than everyone realizes. And I was saying this on the cast, like I think everyone just kind of has ice cream syndrome, where if you ask a bunch of 7-year-olds if they want to have ice cream for dinner every night, of course they're going to say yes. And I think that's where a lot of legacy players are now, where if legacy players, if they want to have perfect hands every game, they're going to say yes. But it's just my biggest problem is not the combo decks running amok. My biggest problem is that matchups are just going to be so redundant and so similar, and everyone's just digging for the same cards and always getting the that it's just going to be a lot less enjoyable.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being a possibility, but it's also hard to ask people to not see their own experiences.
I know, right?
If you play 3 weeks worth of matches, and I'm just talking from my own personal perspective, like I won quite a bit during those 3 weeks, and it feels really good when you're going to 6 and going to 5 in an A plus B combo deck, and you're still seeing your combo on 5. So if the argument's going to be that over the long term that's going to get boring and the gameplay is going to get repetitive, you're certainly not going to encounter that. I think I played like maybe 6 leagues, 5 leagues during that window. You're certainly not going to get that in that sample size. And if you're not playing 4 or 5 leagues a day, you're not going to get tired of that. Plus, with all the new cards and changes to decks, you're not going to get monotonous gameplay in that kind of window. So yeah, like you said, if it's going to be a problem, that's going to be a long-term problem.
Yeah,
not something that people are going to be willing to.
I think if it is a problem, it's going to take so long for people. Like people are going to notice when people shifting away from the format.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I'm curious to see how all of the changes work out, because they're so, from an online play perspective, there's just so many of the changes. We had the testing period, which dovetailed with GP testing and dovetailed with the War release, which had a ton of legacy playable cards. And right after that, we have the Modern set release, which has a ton of legacy playable cards. And then we're going to get the London Mulligan back. And also mixed in there, they have the entry fee and prize change to the league structure, which should encourage not only more people to play in the leagues because it's cheaper, and you can basically more or less be playing for I think it ends up being like $1 every other league if you go 3-2-2-3. So if you go 50%, you're basically like almost playing even or almost infinite at 50%. So it's going to encourage not only more players theoretically, but it's also going to encourage people to try different kinds of decks. So, like tonight, we're running into a deck that's trying to turn one, enter the Eons, or enter whatever the name of that card is.
Yeah.
I don't know, does that player even run that deck if it's 12 ticks and you have to go 3-2 or better just to break even? Maybe not. I've run into some really strange brews the last week or two to make the leagues feel a little bit softer than they were before that change was made. So you have a mulligan rule change, a league prize entry fee structure change, which might change the player base, and then 2 massive legacy printings worth of sets, and whatever's coming in the 2020 core set in
Right.
July too, which they already showed 3 Chandras, so if they're going to go to town on Planeswalkers again with the power level they've been putting on them the last few sets, who knows? But it's just a ton of change going on, and to actually be able to point to one specific thing,
like what's ruining it? Because you're right. I think it's just as Karn and Narset ruin Legacy as the
I don't know that they're going to
London
ruin.
Mulligan.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to ruin Legacy.
I forget people don't understand that I just speak in hyperboles. They're just the way I speak.
Yeah, just trying to keep it reasonable here. but there's no question that this is a huge power. These cards are a huge power level jump from where most of the Planeswalkers are. Like if you had to list the top 5 Planeswalkers in Legacy, there's a chance that 3 of the top 5 are cards that have been printed in the last 2 months.
I don't even think Jace is number 1 anymore.
Like, you could make a reasonable argument that Narset's top 5, Karn's top 5, and the new Renin 6 is top 5. Like, those 3 cards are that good.
I don't even think Liliana the Veil makes top 5 anymore. Which is
it even the best Liliana?
That's the other thing.
Last Hope is almost played as much or more.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, so they've really, and the Arcanist is basically like a better version of Dark Confidant.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
basically, if it lives, you're seeing a card, but it's not just a random draw off your deck for a life. It's literally a free flashback cantrip, which is like a better Dark Confidant. Dark Confidant was a staple for years, so they're really printing some cards that are going to have an impact, and it's going to be a mess trying to have conversations with people whether or not it was this, that, or the other thing that caused a change, if people end up being unhappy with where the format is.
Yeah. I mean, mostly I was just sad because I was really happy.
Yeah, and that's a sentiment that's been, a lot of people have said that. Like, the month or 2 leading up to war, a lot of people were saying that Legacy isn't one of the best places it's ever been in, and I've seen it a lot the last week or 2 because there's a lot of brewing going on with the new cards, and it's fun trying out new toys and all these decks, because basically almost every deck got something to try, or at least some differences of the decks they're playing against. So it's all interesting. So we're just gonna have to see how it plays out, but I'm skeptical by nature. So
I know. I want to be clear. Like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong, and we are ushering in the golden age of Legacy, and it's going to be the best Legacy it's ever been. I'm not hopeful. My worst case scenario, a bunch of decks get banned, and the decks that are left are just playing past each other, and it's modern. Who can find their sideboard?
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people take the criticism the wrong way, because I think they think like there's an aspect of it that people are just unhappy that a change could affect their favorite deck. Like for you, I think a lot of people were mad because they think like, oh, he's just mad because it's going to affect his deck.
That's what I don't get. Like, I don't know
just
why people took such offense to me and said like I was just being selfish, because I'm like, London Mulligan's probably the best thing to happen to Sneak and Show since Grizzlebrand's been printed, and I was the one rallying against.
Yeah, but so it's just an interesting dynamic. Like, I don't think you would quit Legacy if you lost this deck. I think you would just find something else to play. You've met too many people. You're too invested in the community with your cast and everything else. And from my end, I have my own pet deck, but I'm more than willing to try something else if my deck ended up not being good. I mean, the reason I haven't switched off of it for a few years is because it's been doing well. So I don't have a specific reason to, but I'm more than willing to try and not put Grizzlebrand into play if necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I would never quit Legacy because my deck banned. The reason why I would quit Legacy if all my friends stop and I stop having fun playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm scared of, because 2 of my friends sold out of their Legacy collections because they're just happy with the direction that Wizards is taking with the Girl, and also where the London. That's 2 less people I have to play with that I would usually play with on a. So if that trend continues, like, that's where I'm seeing, if the community starts drifting away.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a hard part to parse out. Like the one you said is saying specifically they're gonna stop playing.
Yeah, I
because
mean
of the
they
mobile
were
or whatever.
unhappy.
Yeah, but there's yeah, go ahead. There's a certain amount of turnover of people.
Yeah, like
leave
there's
and come back to
burnout.
the they leave, people leave and come back to the game constantly. So
Right,
it was
right.
going to, even if it wasn't the London Mulligan, would it have been the
Right.
next
I mean the
change that they
London
didn't like?
Mulligan was basically the straw that broke the camel.
Yeah, but it could have been anything, is what I'm saying. Like, you don't know whether that person was just kind of disenfranchised to begin with, because you mentioned the changes that Wizards has been making, and I've had a break during my, I used to be a limited player for a few years, and then I stopped playing, and then I got back, and when I came back, I got into Legacy. So I think there's a natural turnover where people, and I couldn't even tell you why I got back in, other than there was just a local event. So I think there's going to be some turnover, and I don't know if it is or isn't the case for your friend, but it's hard to know for sure whether had they not implemented the London Mulligan, whether they wouldn't have just stopped playing anyway because of other changes that they didn't like. So yeah, it's all really
it's hard. I mean, we're imperfect people trying to get perfect results from perfect.
Exactly. But yeah, I think my overarching concern is the same as yours, which is I think the gameplay could suffer long term. Not the gameplay is going to suffer next week or the first week of implementation or a month in. Just long term, it'll just be a less interesting game.
Yeah.
But I'm very hopeful that I'm wrong, as you are as well.
Yep. I hope I'm wrong.
All right. So anything positive you want to spin, since we were droning on there about our negative opinions? Who'd you guys have? Why don't you plug the cast? Who'd you guys have on this week?
Yeah, we had Rugved on the cast. He was a blast. We had a lot of fun with them. I'm excited for coming up today. But we just kind of talked about deck dumps we got from Star City Games, Play for Power. There were some really interesting lists in that. And then also the stuff in there. Got into that. Rugved talked about his history with Magic. Lots of he had. It was a fun time. Rugved's also just an
good times. You cut out there a little bit. I couldn't tell when you
did
actually
I?
stopped. I couldn't tell when you stopped talking.
Oh, damn it. Sorry.
I was like, you may still be talking. I'm gonna just be quiet.
Other than that, I mean, we got busy time for Magic too, because July I'm gonna be so busy. I'm literally going from wedding to the Leaving a Legacy Open at Gaming, etc. And then the week after that, I'm flying to Barcelona for the Pro Tour. And I'm literally going from Barcelona, then flying directly from the Pro Tour to a bachelor party in Montreal. So I'm just gonna be all July.
Are you just basically handing the keys to Pat and having him go to town for the cast recordings while you're away, or are you actually going to try and Skype in?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Tom, I might have to appoint you Jerry in charge.
Ooh. Don't let me pick guests if that's the case.
There's probably gonna be a solid 2, maybe 3 weeks where I'm not gonna be record.
All right, all Depths guests for the month of July.
Yeah, awesome. All Depths all the time. Leaving a Depths with Tom Hepp.
Part 1, Rug Depths.
Yeah. We're going to go old man slow Depths.
Yeah, you're laughing, but I did look at Rug. I like the new Planeswalker enough that I've been sketching out some brews.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Just to see. It's
Are you going to do that seismic assault bear?
No.
Bear?
No.
You don't want to make a bunch of bears?
I do not, no. Yeah, the end result is making 2020s. All my lists. That's all I know how to do.
Yeah, but if you make 10 bears, that's like a 2020.
Yeah, I'm not making bears. Look, if I'm going to be talked out of making 2020s, it's this pile right here.
That pile right there. That's a good pile. Or
more specifically, I could be convinced to go with this pile. I'm not married to Emrakul. Gristlebrand's a solid number 2 option. If Gristlebrand decides to bring Emrakul along for the ride, I can be okay with that. But
It would be interesting if Griselbrand does end up getting banned, what Sneak and Show ends up doing, because the shell is still powerful enough that they can replace it with another creature. But it definitely, like, I guess you, like, Worldspire Worm would be the other thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you'd almost be better off just going with the mono red Sneak version with the boar and just trying to get them that way.
Yeah, the deck just kind of separates into two. You go mono red Sneak, or you go mono blue because that version, usually that version won't even brand.
Yeah, or just go straight to, like, I've seen some like blue white Omnitel lists running around. You know, that kind of shell might be the better show and tell list.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Or what do we know? Maybe an M print a better Griselbrand.
A better Griselbrand, right? Could you imagine? Could you imagine eight variations of this?
You know, you laugh, but that's what people said when Jin Gitaxis came out, and they're like, maybe they'll print a better Jin Gitaxis, and people are like, they won't ever print a better Jin Gitaxis, and then like a year later, Griselbrand was printed.
So I'll put you on the spot right now. I've never thought of this question, but this conversation put my brain there. If they banned this card somehow in the future and decided, since they do this with basically every card, what would a fixed Griselbrand look like?
A fixed Griselbrand, it would probably be. It would lose lifelink, and it would say you can only activate on your turn.
Okay, yeah. Actually, losing the lifelink might be good enough on its own.
Losing lifelink on its own might be enough.
Pay 13 life, draw 13 cards. I like that. All right, now Romario is really on the right track now.
Yeah,
I can get behind.
I don't think that's a Griselbrand nerf so much as a Merit Leash buff.
It's Griselage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Reanimate. Yeah, I know that it would die because it was a thing before Griselbrand was around, but the power level of the other decks has gone up so much since then that I don't know that Reanimator is playable without Griselbrand. Even like the old school decks were like blue black,
right?
With like the Dazes and Force of Will and stuff like that, and those were still decks before Griselbrand, but everything else has gotten so much better in the time frame from when that was a real deck to now that I don't know that kind of deck could survive.
I don't think it would die because it Reanimator has the option of box. Like you could losing Griselbrand just means you have more slots for box. And I actually watch a lot of Reanimator match. Just go for Griselbrand blindly, and it's actually not the right play. Like I've seen Reanimator players grab Griselbrand versus Burn when they have Iona, and I'm like, I know Griselbrand's good, but Iona is literally just win the game right.
Yeah, Iona's not even in the main deck, but I guess I see what you're saying, that it would be, or some additional number of toolbox creatures would be. God, it would probably be like, I hate that card, but I'm guessing some versions of it would probably go back to like the Sire of Insanity plan. Even though that card's so beatable by basically a ton of different decks, that might be at least one or two of the slots.
Yeah. I think Jin Gitaxis comes back.
Jin Gitaxis.
I think it just they play a lot more fair.
Yeah, it's possible, but we're a long ways away from having to figure that out. I figured I would just put you on the spot with the Griselbrand question. So long live the king.
Long live the king.
All right, Mr. Mee, I think I'm going to call it an evening.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Maybe I'll drag you back on, and since I got to make a couple of embarrassing plays with a deck I've never been familiar with.
I could just tell you terrible decisions to make with land.
So what we'll do the next time is reverse it. So instead of playing on my account and you trading me the Sneak and Show cards, I will trade you the Depths cards, and we will play Depths on your account, and I will sit and watch on your screen share, and we'll see how much fun we can have in that direction. See if we can't sacrifice our thespian stage instead of our dark depths. I've had a
know
lot
what I
of
realized,
requests.
which was giving me the biggest heart attack, is that there's a slight delay between the video and what I'm hearing. So like I would hear the mouse click, but your mouse would still be like hovering over the wrong card. So I'm like, oh, what no? And then I would see like the screen a half second later, you would move over to the right card and click it.
Look, one of the very first times I streamed was with Pat, but my computer was so old it was incapable of handling it. So what we did was we used the Leaving a Legacy stream. It's basically Pat's, right? But it's called the Leaving a Legacy stream. So we used his stream and his account because my computer couldn't even handle that. Like it couldn't handle running Moto and doing like a Skype connection without crashing because it was a pile. So we ran on his, and he had to make all the clicks and decisions, and I must have screamed no like a dozen different times. That video is sadly lost, but yeah, he nearly gave me a heart attack on many occasions, awesome. And that's where the infamous pithing needle story came from. Yep. And yeah, it was just good times all around. So I feel your pain. I know where I've been there. I've been there.
Oh.
But we'll reverse it next time.
Pat.
But if I don't talk to you outside of like chat or whatever before you go, good luck at the PT and
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
With your, at the very least, with your travels and the wedding and everything else. I hope you kick ass.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks for coming. And sweet.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Good night, everybody.